you're going.
And welcome back to Brine and Tide. Oh, welcome back. Oh, shoot. Okay, connection is being weird there for a second. Are we going?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, that was weird. You started roboting out there and going and go. So it was. I wasn't sure if we were going on. Anyways, welcome back to Brine and Tide. Uh, minor technical difficulties there for a second, but as soon as we cleared up. Uh, last time the group continued their trek across the island, having having discussed um, histories and revealed things about each certain members of the party. And crossing through the swamp, you were fortunately assaulted by a few bandit flies, but they proved to be not much of a threat to this party that is starting to work better together. But reaching the river, the party came upon the skeletal Roman of the boat stuck high in a tree, seemingly for years. No one on the island can quite seem to remember when it got there or how long it's been up there. But deciding to put the thing to rest and search out the boat, Ray and Amon decided to cross the river to send the tree and deal with it. Although tensions kind of got tense. Sorry, fumbling over words here. But discovering inside after dispatching the skeleton, uh, after it luckily, or due to a stroke of misfortune, managed to ricochet some of an assault spell back at Rayan.
Fuck him.
But
Yeah, and then I punched its head off.
and no problems were had from that decision at all. But
Nothing whatsoever. We're fine.
the chest inside the small, like the halfway point, but it's a small chest. So he found a bottle of what looked to be some kind of rum type alcohol, or it was a rum bottle at the very least, and a leather sheath full of what looked to be preserved papers or protected papers, as well as uh, you realize that the ore that the skeleton had been rowing with for years, possibly decades, has been lightly infused with magic and above game counts as a +1 quarterstaff. So, but the commotion of a argument breaking out between Rayan and Ioane drew the attention of the ogre boatsman Gumgalore as he arrived and offered a trip back to the village, reducing the travel time very quickly as thanks to his water elemental friend and the going along with the current of the river towards the waterfall near the village, you arrived. It's probably actually you made very good time, so it's probably a couple hours yet to sundown. Uh, so, but arriving, you happen to find that some other tensions had broken out as you arrived to find Bradar the half orc being yelled at by some members of the Driftwood Dolphin crew, uh, as they seemed to discover somehow that it was the item he was responsible for that the captain was smuggling on her ship that drew the attention of the entity within the reef and the Sahagin and Marrow.
Possibly.
And that is what they believe it to be. They seem to be lashing out from what you could gather. More anger at being trapped there than anything, as it seemed while the rest of the village, while there was a tension, you could tell from a lot of them that this was probably a fairly common thing when larger groups arrived. They would looks like you can tell they've seen this before, looking for a scapegoat or someone to blame for their being trapped on the island.
Mm.
But thanks to the rather intimidating presence of the giant-blooded Ioane, the tensions were shifted and eased a bit uh, as Ioane kind of stepped up to his former crewmates, cowing them, not wanting to deal with them. Never really seeing him pissed off before. And that's after displaying that the Anzu has been slain. Orovir approached, delighted, ready, and says, now that you are all ready to work to freeing the island. And that is where we left off.
Well, we're not quite ready for it. We kind of got, like, some side quests we might want to do first. Oh, that was in character. That's in character.
Yeah, no,
okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, another thing that I completely forgot. In the swamp, you pretty much walked right into the satellite nest thanks to some distracted receivers. But
thanks to Amon, you mean?
No, I think it was Ryoko.
No, Amon was the one who did
I can't remember.
I made the dice roll. I can't help what the dice do. It's not Amon's fault. It's the dice's fault.
But you did happen to stumble upon the Ankeg side nest and get a glimpse, well, more than a glimpse, of the Ankeg king as it arrived carrying food, and noticed the group seeming to be a little bit more perceptive than the normal drones. And through their, I guess, successful threat display, managed to drive the party away, where you met Kanmo, the halfling insect farmer, who is very set on taking over this massive Ankeg hive on the island. And you all agreed to help him stage a coup. But yes, we are now. He said that he would gather. He needs to gather up and whip up enough pheromone perfume to allow this large of a group to sneak inside far enough into the hive to avoid the teeming masses within, to get close enough to the king and queen. He said he would contact you sometime in the village, but
yeah, and says, well, not quite. We have like some side things we would like to do. They should help us, in the long run, but
give us more tools to take on the real threat.
Yeah,
I mean, more wherever it goes, that whatever we can get helps.
Well, we met an Ankeg farmer.
There's some confusion among the the people gathered, but there are a few that do seem to, it seems to click, and then like those who do seem to recognize that, they go, oh, and then someone's like, you hear someone pipe up, and it's like, he's still alive? Thought he was taken by the dreams.
Oh, damn. No, he's taking care of his Ankeg. He might be able to supply us with Ankeg armor.
And Orovir grins at that, and he goes, oh, that would definitely be useful.
Does everything calm here now?
And he kind of looks over to where the sailors that Matilda, basically the leader of the village, she had stepped between Bradar. She was kind of keeping Bradar and the sailors at arm's length. The sailors have wandered off, kind of stepped off to the side. Definitely seems like they are still upset just from the scowls they're shooting at Bradar, but you can also see from the looks that they shoot towards you on a very briefly. You get the feeling that they're probably not going to start anything immediately. They seem rather cowed, while everyone else in the village just seems like there was that tension because it's like they fight was maybe going to break out, but no one else seemed like they were too invested in the conflict.
Okay.
Like you actually see the gnomish passenger that was on the ship, Riz. He's just kind of sitting off to the side, eating from like a bowl of fruit, just watching as he's got that book he's always working on, just the bowl of fruit sitting on the book like a little lap table as he's just watching that same board detachment that this little wizard seemed to have. Oh, not wizard. He looks like a wizard, but you've never seen him use magic.
Curious. Do I see our crab friend?
Not at the moment, no. But it's like not everyone is here. You realize, looks like people are still either out hunting or you don't see the Furble Druid anywhere. So it looks like people are probably still off working because it's still still a good amount of daylight left.
The Warforged was here though, right?
Yep. Anchor was kind of standing off to the side just in case things did come to blows. He would step in.
Okay.
Doing that bouncer look.
All right.
Oh, also, one thing I should point out, and I realize that listening back, this might just be Discord and text or just the chat not catching this distinction. When I'm talking about this crab, I'm saying occultist with an O at the front and not cultist with a C. Similar paths. Important distinction in professions. I just wanted to
Yeah, he's just goth. He's not telling people to drink the Kool-Aid.
But Rand doesn't know that.
You should go and ask.
Yeah, that's her intent. Let's just see if everything is before actually calm down. She kind of walks off towards Anchor.
He's kind of standing. He's actually talking to Berdar, the half orc, and he Anchor kind of pats him on the shoulder. He's just like, pay no mind to them. We see this every time there's a big group. They always look for someone to blame. And Berdar just kind of nods and goes, I mean, transporting it because they're trying to study it and to look for ways to neutralize them. It
might not even be your fault.
And kind of, they both look over as you approach. He goes, oh, I mean, I really hope so.
We'll find out soon enough, I think.
I mean, I'll be completely honest. That's why I was freaked out when you all came down for dinner that one night and said that the commotion up on deck was because of undead. I thought I fucked everything up.
Well, it wasn't activated, so they shouldn't have been able to see it was there, right?
I mean, who knows? That's kind of why we're bringing it in to study. My boss is like they're like some of the biggest researchers of necromancy and other, well, not necromancy itself, but like dangerous relics. I mean, he kind of like looks around to make sure none of the sailors are around, and he goes, I mean, this isn't the first dangerous relic I've had to transport across, nation lines so they could study and destroy him.
And you lost it,
It's
right?
just my job.
Yeah, and it got lost.
It's sync with everything else.
It's with, yeah.
So, assume it got picked up by whatever sink us.
Yeah, I don't.
And Anchor nods and goes, that seems to be what we can gather. Most of the people here say, of the ones who knew, their vessels were either transporting, materials or, transporting rare relics. Smugglers, merchants, that kind of thing. And he kind of looks around and goes in a lower octave. He goes, there's a good portion of us here, that, good number of them here who used to be pirates. But he goes, and then he goes, but that is their life before the island. We all have our new lives here, and we've all mostly come to an agreement on that. We don't pay much attention to what happened before because we have to worry about tomorrow and today.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I came over to ask you, Anchor. Have you seen what was his name? The carpenter's name?
Ventralk.
Have you seen Ventralk or Ventral?
Yeah.
First or second one? Is there a K? Is there a C sound at the end or no?
Tralk, yes.
Okay. Have you seen
like
Ventralk?
eye stalk?
Thank you.
He goes, not recently, but I saw him this morning. He was at breakfast, and he kind of looks around. And he goes, he's normally in one of the dugouts, and he kind of points off. And there's a few little, like the map isn't 100% accurate, but there's like a few little dugouts that are dug into a hill, sort of like this, like. And he goes, he's been mostly rooming up in there.
All right. Thank you. And guess we'll head towards those.
Okay. What's everyone else doing? Orvir's still there, and he goes, so, first of all, tell me about the Anzu. And he kind of looks, and he notices Amon, and he goes, oh, I see by the arrows you've been to the Moonscale, yeah?
Yes, we reached the Moonscale tribe on our way to the Anzu. They actually had specifically requested our help to slay the adult Anzu to retrieve a bell of theirs, which we have done successfully.
Yeah, I mean, he was there when Utroth told you.
Oh, we're talking to Orovir. Sorry, I thought we were
Yes.
talking to somebody else. I had zoned out at apparently the wrong time.
Nope, I switched back
because
as Rayan walked off to go find Ventral, switched back to see what everyone else was doing.
That's fair.
As now, Orovir is curious about what you all have been up to since you parted ways from the workshop.
Honestly, we went and checked out the Ankeg to varying degrees of success.
You made contact with Kalmo. Thought that little guy died.
Yes, he was very interesting. Very brave for living alongside such large bug things. A little relatable, but a little crazy.
And doesn't he even have skills that resist acid like I do?
Yes.
Oh my god, why are the kids yelling at each other in the hallway?
That is what children do, Orovir. That is what children do.
Nah. Sorry if you hear sassy girls yelling at each other.
It's fine.
It fit the moment. We're in a village.
Yes. It's fine. It fits into the flavor. Tensions are high. But yes, we went to the Onkegs, and that was fun. Relatively speaking. We had some fun encounters with other wildlife. The flies have been a little more active, but we took care of those pretty quick.
Yeah,
Kinda,
with the Anzu not around, they're going to be a little more bold flying around, but
they're not so hard to handle.
as long as you're in a group, the problem is when they sneak up on you.
True. But if I do recall correctly, as our phrasing was, we were going to help perform a coup for the gentleman, or friendly gentleman among the bugs. If we can replace the on-keg queen and queen, he can put in one that's more docile, and then would be willing to trade us, on-keg shells for that work, and we could make some armor out of those.
That would be very useful. Don't know how useful their acid would be in an aquatic assault, but I'm sure the village would be finding plenty of uses for it.
Extra resources is extra resources. It's why we've gathered so much meat. I need to offload the meat and chains and things, but...
Oh, yeah. Go talk to... Oh, there was specifically someone that was the cook. Anyways. Yeah, she goes, God. She goes, yeah, just go bring it to my daughter. She'll make sure that gets taken care of. Or not. Orvir doesn't say that. Shit, I suddenly was thinking of Matilda, the village leader. Hold on.
It happens.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was talking to Matilda at first, so now it's your turn to think that you're Matilda.
No, it's not that. It's just suddenly super loud. Everyone's slamming doors and yelling at each other. It's just like... Anyways. So, no. Orvir goes, yeah, bring that to Marlene. Or no, Susanna. Marlene's the furbolg. Looking at my notes.
A lot of people to juggle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to stop for now. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, you're good.
Really, no, I'm not. But anyways, we're going. Orvir says, take that to Susanna. She takes care of the hunting, and she'll know how to take care of that.
Fair enough. Though, while I have you here for a second, Orvir, you have been here on the island longer than I do. There is an individual I am curious to see if you've encountered. Before we got, I believe, to you, or maybe it was on our way to the Anzu. I think it was on our way to the Anzu, actually. We ran into an amphibian fellow that introduced themselves as Moonsinger Motley. Do you know anything about them?
Hold on. He's gonna have to make a roll. Realize this isn't Monster of the Week, so I don't have to bullshit. I actually have stats for this character.
Yeah,
Fucker
you do.
rolled really well. He
You're
goes,
gonna have to explain.
He has no... What?
That's an inside joke. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't hear what you said, but
Oh, is he gonna have to
really
explain
well for having no bonus? And...
Sorry. Go. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. It's the fucking connection.
Yeah, no, you're.
He goes, I'm not doing well today. I'm so sorry, everybody.
You're fine.
We're good.
He goes, I haven't heard that name since I was a whelp in the hatchery. That's like, kid story stuff. The moon singer comes down, sings, plays their song, children walk off into the sea, that kind of thing.
Oh.
Yes, he dropped 3 jungle chickens on us. Or whatever you call the hook-handed bird things that I don't remember the name of.
Oh, yes, the hook horrors. Appropriate name.
Hook horrors, yes. We encountered that individual.
Once you assert yourself as a threat to them, they typically will leave you alone. So.
Yes. I'm not worried about them appearing, but I was intrigued by this fantastically musically inclined fellow and was wondering if you knew anything. That is fascinating.
Yeah, I'm being serious. Like, this is literally something from a book that was read to me as a kid with the other members of my clutch, clutch age.
Fair enough. He was here. That's what I have for you. We encountered him.
He literally looks like you just told him, "Hey, the Sandman is real." It's just like, what the fuck?
I was bizarrely but delighted to encounter him. I was hoping he may have just been some crazy bard in the woods that I could go track down and say hello to again.
I mean, it might be someone taking the name from the stories, but the stories were equally disturbing as they were, entertaining for kids.
I mean,
a lot of lessons.
He did throw 3 giant murder birds at us. I don't think he's necessarily friendly, but I was intrigued.
Quiet Hearts, who is actually familiar with this, and he kind of pipes up. They also tricked us into fighting a pair of trolls by thinking there were 3 trolls.
Yeah,
right.
I was wondering.
I forgot about the trolls.
I was gonna bring that up.
Oh, sorry.
No, you did interrupt. It's like I feel like there was something else too.
If Rain was there, she would as well, but she grumpy.
Oh yes, he also led us into a nest of trolls and we destroyed a troll god statue. That was interesting.
Yeah, and it kind of, there's like a moment of concern that passes this Dragonborn's face. He goes, "You desecrated a shrine,
I didn't desecrate a shrine.
You got in trouble.
Well, the person who desecrated the shrine is technically not here, so can't really point fingers at Quiet Hearts. So.
Oh, I can point fingers at Quiet Hearts just fine. Amon will lean and go, "It was Quiet Hearts who got a little zealous."
And I'll just say Quiet Hearts kind of shrugs and goes, "Needed to be done." But
it's just like, but it's one of those
like, I mean, trolls are nasty, and if they're worshiping, and he kind of squints and thought, he goes, can't recall their name, but a troll god, if I remember right, not a good person.
Given that they were actively giving parts of the kill to a statue that seemed to be consuming them, yes.
Okay, yeah, that sounds more like demon stuff.
I don't think the troll god is much above that. But what do I know?
I think Corona, you might have rolled decently previously for this. There actually is some theological debate on whether Thaga should be considered a demon prince rather than a fallen god, or a weakened god by this point.
There's debate on that subject, actually. I don't think we have anything to worry about for destroying for destroying that.
However it goes, I mean, yeah, as long as you... It's, it's had to be done, like your friend says, but... Anyways. Yeah, that does sound like something that the Moonsinger stories would do. They would lead people into situations.
I'm gonna lead him into a situation.
Yes. So the frog fellow, since you just showed up, Corano, turns out he's like a folkloric being, and just shows up to fuck around and find out.
I think everyone's still there except for Rand, who walked off. It's been Orver talking to the whole group.
I think so, yeah.
Unless Ryoko stalked off.
I forget whether Ryoko did or not. I'm gonna say just for convenience that she's here but aloof.
Okay.
Isn't that how she always is?
Yes.
She's doing her default animation stance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kick a folklore's ass.
Wherever Chuck goes, well, that will definitely be worth a story. Speaking of, you don't have to tell me the full story now, but you do know that come dinner time, and he kind of looks around, and now that the news of the Anzu's death is actually starting to spread after the tension of the near conflict is easing, you start seeing people start, excitedly start talking to each other, and you actually see Susanna, the half elf, daughter of Matilda. She's actually near the, by the big bonfire, not the, the big center cooking area, and he's like, "Do you realize you're gonna have to regale the whole village with the story of your victory?" Yeah.
Oh yes, I can't wait. It was actually Ryoko who went and gave the last
motherfucker. You piece of shit. That's in character, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He gets a good laugh at that. He goes, yes, notoriety and the ninja, eternal enemies.
There's just like if you could imagine a smug bird look on Amon, that's the face he's making right now. You just say, I know what I'm doing.
It's the knife cat meme, but it's the Truden and Ryoko's the one with the knife.
Yeah.
But he goes, well, either way, it is all definitely a great accomplishment for you all. I kind of regret that I wasn't able to join you, but I'm confident we'll have plenty to fight together down beneath the waves.
Oh yeah, no, that one's gonna be the hard one.
And you said the bell's at you recovered the bell and it's with the moon scale?
Yep, along with the uncorrupted egg of the Anzu.
Oh, that's curious. Scale would definitely be the ones to look after that. Might have to send Marlene flying over there someday so she can take a look at it.
Yep. We found the egg was uncorrupted and was progressing along healthily, which would imply that it was done before corruption. And, instincts be instincts.
Not to be gruesome, but they're actually, from what the lizard folk have told me, it has laid eggs before and found other mates since, well, temporary mates, it seems. Any other Anzu that showed up to the island, it inevitably be killed. So,
yes,
we believe it was killing its other hatchlings once they hatched.
Well, at least this one should be fine.
Because there were remnants of some older eggshells, but you knew that it did have a young one prior, so you weren't sure how old those were. But anyways,
yeah, it is still a bird.
he goes, well, either way, this is a great step towards freeing this island and allowing people to return home. I know, I definitely need to. I can't return home and face my family unless I recover what was taken from us.
Oh? You're on a mission of that caliber. What were you looking for?
The item I was transporting home.
Oh, right.
It was a family heirloom, a war horn made from, well, the horn of an honored ancestor, whose restorative powers and is used during the conflict with the Mercians, and it had been lost, and we had finally recovered it from them, and it was my duty to escort it home when the storm rolled in and the ship sank. I know I made the right choice, but I forwent my duty in securing it to make sure that my retainers and the crew of the ship I was on could make it to the island as best they could.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
anyways,
If we can help, if we find it during our underwater adventures, I'll make sure it gets back into your possession. You have my word.
oh, I'm joining the assault with you.
Oh, I know. But I have a feeling with Rayan, if the ability to travel underwater is available, we'll be making multiple trips.
All right. And he goes, we'll need to speak with Utroth and coordinate with the moon scale, see about getting the bell here. Find out a way to transport it easily enough. But that is talk for later.
Yes.
Welcome back. Yourselves. Prepare for the. He kind of chuckles again. Prepare for the festivities. Sure, the moon scale treated you well.
Oh yes. No.
Did they treat you well, Ryoko?
You're not even fucking here.
God.
The moon scale were very honored dying with the one who laid the killing blow on the Anzu.
Won't look like an accident. I'll let them know it was me.
I'll get voted off the island. I don't care.
And he kind of laughs and goes, yes, watch your back there, samurai.
Oh, it's fine.
Ryoko,
Yeah,
just meanwhile, I will cook your goose.
So, Orver kind of chuckling waves as he kind of steps off to go speak to a few other. He actually goes to. You realize that not far off, not close enough to listen in, but respectful distance. You actually see some of the other Dragonborn that you'd spoken to Amon about Orver, and it seems that now that he's back in the village, they are kind of falling on that instinct of master and retainer, so you all can do what you want. You wanted to go visit the alchemist. Brian is going for the Ventrok. Did anyone else who split up or just chill? Now it is kind of a hike to get to the alchemist. He's not in town at the moment. You know the way. It's literally just following the cliff edge.
Cool, that will give him time to cool off.
Yeah, if anyone wanted to go with you, but I think we'll go back to Rayan.
I wanted to go with Rayan, but she kind of intentionally gave her the slip.
If Corona watches Ioane stalking off by himself, she's going to follow him without saying a word.
Okay.
I'm glad bet someone is.
We'll go to Rayan.
Alright.
You go up to one of these dugout. They're not quite caverns. They're more like rooms dug into the side of the dirt, this hill, right, or this rise, and there's. It's not like a door. There's. It's more like a blanket or like a piece of leather hanging across the front.
Alright, she calls out, "Hello, I'm looking for Ventral."
You hear a shuffling sound inside of them. A big claw sticks out and pulls the sheet aside and goes, "Ah, I was wondering when you would show up."
She has a very, neutral...
And he steps aside, holds it open.
She enters.
And inside, it seems like he's turned the... It still looks like it's mostly used for, like, storing food stuff. There's, like, old salvage barrels and other, like, you know, baskets that are made on site and other stuff. But he seems he's cleared off a little corner where he's made a little living space and what looks to be, like, not quite a full ritual circle, but looks like an area in the dirt that's been scraped clean. Okay. And like some scratchings in the dirt, but nothing complex or complete. It's just
okay.
Maybe. But he goes and sits down in the center of it. He kind of like just idly scratches at the dirt, not really paying attention. Almost like maybe this is like a habit of his.
She frowns at the circle. Making yourself at home.
He looks down and he goes, "Oh, no, this is not ritualistic or anything. This is a twitch."
A tick.
Tick. Yes, that's the term.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. So.
Do you know what I am?
Will your reaction change depending on my answer?
No.
I can tell that you are not used to this. And he kind of gestures with one of his lesser hands. He goes, "Mortal."
What?
Mortality.
Yeah. Mortality's...
You wear it like a molt. But you do seem to be jesting better than even just a few days ago.
I've had some help.
And you can't really read his expression as his eye stalks. They're just kind of, I mean, you'd be able to understand, Karkanos' expressions just from body language, but he's like basically doing the Karkanos version of just, poker facing it, where he's just very calmly just...
Yeah. Honestly, though, Ryan could probably read him better than, a humanoid?
Yeah, probably.
Because he is closer to,
he just...
things she's experienced, I guess. Yeah, she can pick up that he's poker facing this.
Yeah, but the eye stalks do glance down at the tattoos. There's something else that surfaced. And he kind of asks. He says that question with a questioning tone.
Yeah. They manifested on this body not long ago.
Perhaps it is a resurfacing. And he kind of holds out one of his, not the pincer hands, but like one of the hands that looks more humanoid. It actually kind of looks a lot like your own crab hand, just not actually being a crab.
She kind of lifts it up, at the same time. It's just like, oh, okay, I got that too.
And he kind of moves your arm to like look at the tattoos, but he goes, How long have you worn this flesh?
Oh, God. Days?
Sorry.
Time is... I'm still adjusting to time, linear time. I know it's been days, maybe weeks. God, a year? I don't know. Time moves so... It moves from beginning to end, and I'm having difficulty...
I can imagine it is. I can imagine. It was difficult to see, well, first, to see things from the side rather than in the line itself.
Are you?
To observe the current rather than swept in it?
Yeah.
Must be disconcerting, I bet.
Disconcerting, but exciting. It's been... I have enjoyed getting to experience these things. I am not here to cause any harm, if you are worried about that.
Well, speak the truth. There has been harm caused.
I didn't say there wasn't.
The great beast of the sky has been dethroned, and you fought our jailers. Harm can be good. Harm, painful,
it's not my
can
purpose.
be directed.
It's not my purpose here, though. I'm not here.
He kind of gives a little shrug, a crab shrug with his eye stalks.
Yes, I like that. I've caused harm to those I think deserve it, and I think is necessary. I'd rather it could go a different way. I'd have liked if the Anzu could have been reasoned with. I'd have liked if the demons could have been reasoned with. Don't give me that look. I know I've been fucking told how stupid that is.
No, I have dealt very amicably and peacefully with multiple fiends. Hello, Raven.
Raven!
There he is.
Raven!
You didn't
Yay!
No, I tried to take a nap. I didn't wake up.
Quiet Hearts no longer lives up to their name.
Here, though.
Whoa.
We're not too far in. The group is just kind of scattered about the village, just chatting. Rand's currently talking to the crab.
Yeah, she intentionally kind of lost everybody to talk to the crab. Yeah.
And then Ioane and Corrado are about to head off to the alchemist. So, Quiet Hurts, you're free to do what you want. But what were you saying, Rain?
What was he saying?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I was overjoyed at seeing.
Yeah, I was extremely happy to see Raven, so I lost my train of thought. And like her trying to be kind of serious, which is different for her. But yeah, oh god, yeah, the demons. He said, he knows he was been told how stupid it is.
And he said he goes, yeah, I have dealt amicably and beneficially and malevolently and maliciously with the fiends of the lower planes, but they are a people as any other. They just kind of does that shrug again with his eyes where it's just they oppress those who go against what they consider natural, and he kind of There's the Carcanos version of a chuckle, which sounds more like the crab spitting up a bubble.
Yeah.
He goes, not too dissimilar from mortals.
She blinks a little in surprise. Oh. So it's possible?
Like that little fiend, what was his name? Flip Hislop.
Islam.
He well, he maybe a bit crass. Seemed decent enough. If he is actually working with the alchemist now. Similar minds and all that. Or rather, professions. And then there are those like the eyes kind of take on a scowl angle because the one who is going to drain me of my blood and feed me to that metal monstrosity.
The cad. Fuck.
I believe they're called Cambions.
Thank you.
Fiends.
Cambion, yes. See, one of I remember is a tiefling.
Either by birth or a ritual that warps them that way.
Wait, you mean you can be turned into a Cambion?
Oh yes. The soul, just as the flesh, is transient. It can be warped and corrupted and shaped. Those who know it.
I mean, everything is fluid. Even if you don't think it is. Existence is fluid. It just doesn't always like to be fluid.
That is kind of an ironic statement or observation of this world when you think about it.
It is a very heavily
wet
flooded world. I can't remember. I can't exactly remember others, but something tells me that this isn't the norm.
Ah, so you have... I was curious if you were something that bridged the spheres.
Oh, fuck.
When I've cast my mind out, I have come upon worlds where vastly different than this. And the history of this world does say it was once the seas were lower and the lands were rich and lush before the deluge.
So like this island, but greater. Much greater.
You've stood on the deck of a ship and looked out all around and seen nothing but ocean. Imagine worlds where there's nothing but grass or sand or stone, or even just cloud.
She looks like. Ugh. I don't know. I like the water. It's familiar. It's not.
The chuckles again. It goes. Being what I am, this world is. It has earned us some ire in my people some ire throughout history, but if you think about it, the world is now much more
hospitable,
welcoming to my kind, our kind, I suppose.
I don't think I can be counted amongst that. I resemble what the people here call a tideborn, but I am not a tideborn. You know this.
As I told your feathered friend, you're like this fin of a shark slicing through the surface of the water.
she smiles, but like, you know, like a smile without any humor in it. That's not a bad.
Or think of
Hmm?
now the thing in the reef, similar but vastly different.
Her smile goes to a frown.
You've seen the eyes, I'm sure. Everyone has seen these eyes.
The eyes?
Those eyes.
Oh, the eyes saw me.
Well, yes, they see us and look into us, and
No, no. I had the dream, like a lot of people here have had, but it saw me and spoke at me.
what did it say?
There you are. I don't think it knows what I am, although it's always possible it does. Although if it did, it might be a little afraid to do anything, but then again, I don't know what it is exactly.
From casting my mind out, I know something of the mind down there, and it is ancient and vast as the sea itself.
Oh, maybe it's that big.
And he kind of does that chuckle again. Perhaps it is an old co-worker.
I
And
not. You don't understand how frightening that prospect is, do you?
I have some inkling. But perhaps this will... I don't know if this will put your mind at ease or make you even more worried. If you were the shark, the fin that is slicing through the water, concealing something greater, think of it, this thing as such. And he goes down, wipes away like a clear patch in the dirt, and he goes, the mortal linear world, yes?
Uh-huh.
Uniform. And he kind of like takes little pebbles. He goes, these are people, yes? These are the
Yes.
lives living from one end to the other. And he takes a finger, lifts up a finger, and he goes, this is what is down in the reef. And he puts down a finger and like jabs it into the dirt and just carves a line and like knocking over these different pebbles. And he goes, and then sometimes it feels like this. And rather than one finger, his hand spreads out and each finger digs into a different spot and drags. And he goes, one yet many, a drop in an ocean. The ocean becomes a drop. And yet there is always the eyes.
Huh.
It's similar but vastly different to the sense I get from you.
I am trying not to cause harm to the world itself and its existence. If I tried to pour myself in here, I don't think it would go very well for this world. I am. And she holds up a finger and puts it down and just like, it doesn't hit any of the pebblers or anything. She just puts it down and, just put, but next to the people. I am this. I want to learn what it is like to be you.
And what greater flattery is that? And he kind of chuckles again and goes,
I suppose that's a way to put it.
I suppose we should be thankful that you feel mercy rather than hunger or hatred.
About, well, you,
I chose my words specifically.
Listen.
No, I know of the hunger. And he kind of lowers his voice, and in the deep speech, he says, I know of the hunger in the deep, the hunger of Regax.
In deep speech, she says, I am the hunger. The hunger is with me still.
And back in just comedy goes, like I said, we are fortunate that you feel mercy.
It's not mercy.
Well,
feel
it may not be. Anyways, it is an act of mercy whether you.
I feel guilty. I feel guilty for the harm I have caused, intentionally or otherwise.
There's a chuckle and he goes, not a healer of minds, but if it would seem that for many, guilt is a motivating factor that can lead to positive change in their life. Regret, while painful, is a teaching thing.
You're very wise.
Another chuckle and he goes, many have called me mad.
You have your mind in this world but touching others, and you have not gone mad. That is a feat.
Who says you have just not met me in a moment of lucidity?
Perhaps I have. But you are locked in a cage with others being essentially tortured, and you were not mad.
Well,
that is something.
Reality, flesh, prisons, they can all be shed, just like any exoskeleton, molds to become larger and better than you were before.
That's something fascinating with mortality so far.
I believe the scholars call it something called an ecdysis. A shedding or a molting of oneself to become something new. Something Karkanos are fairly... And he kind of chuckles, he goes, it is something of a fact of life. If we do not struggle to free ourselves from our old skins, we will die on our own growth.
This is...
That does raise a good question. Does that mean generally the older one is, the bigger they are?
Yeah, there's some big Kirkanos down there that might remember the deluge if you ever find them way down there.
Old and crotchety. It's like, oh yeah, I remember the Greenlands.
That was just a tiny little larva.
This is why... This is all... It's all confusing and strange, but it's all fascinating. I want to understand. Need to understand.
Now, don't be mad at me for this, but could you say it is a hunger for knowledge?
She looks him dead in
and
the eye.
you look at him, and he basically has like the Kirko's version of a shit-eating grin.
Yeah, she looks him right in the eye though, and she says, "I am ravenous."
Excellent. Well, there's much to learn on this island, so yeah.
Much to learn here. I was worried coming to see you that you would take my presence badly, or worst case scenario, worshipped my greater self.
Worship is a complicated thing, but I don't believe I have that in me anymore for any god or
Anymore?
anything similar.
Wait, anymore?
As I said, we must shed our past selves to continue to grow.
Yeah, we must. Well, you must. I can't shed what I am. I am.
You said those tattoos manifested.
Yes, but
resurfaced.
I'm not. I am.
I understand. I apologize.
No, it's just words are. Putting these things into words is difficult. There's close enoughs and similes, but it's hard to put it in these tongues.
Yes. It's almost impossible to.
Yes, it is. But thank you for not gathering the village to kill me upon my return.
I wouldn't have worked out well for anyone.
I mean, it would have. You probably could have done it, but then I'd have been mad, and I don't think
precisely. If your focus is now concentrated in this point, I don't want to see what happens when that point of rage at being slaughtered expands back out into the sea.
Yeah, I would rather not die. It doesn't seem pleasant at all.
No, it's quite unpleasant.
She makes a face, like a grumpy face.
So yes,
undead.
Continue to struggle. Continue.
Yeah, what is that about the undead?
She's grumbling to herself.
And does like with the eye stalks, just the like a curious head tilt, but doesn't press. So, yes. Is there anything else I could help you with nowadays?
Well, I mean, we want to get rid of the thing in the reef. You know this.
Much like from what I have gleaned, like I said, it is much like you, but vastly different. It too has an anchor of flesh. Slay the flesh, and it must obey the rules of this reality.
Good to know. I need to find its anchor. I just wasn't sure what we'd find down there. I still don't, but if it is similar to me, then that means it can be cut off.
It needs some kind of focus. Well, it is a vast mind. It is lensed through the focus of flesh. Smash that lens, and she will shatter the prism that has captured this island.
Won't be easy, but we're doing our best.
And I believe you have learned one of the more important lessons of being mortal.
What's that?
And just continue to try to do your best. That's all you can do.
Huh. See, I've got this mortal thing down. She turns, and then she trips on her skirt and falls over.
Oh. And there's like that, like, flinch of the ice stock's gonna go almost retract. But, so that's a good little cut. So,
Yeah.
let's see. So, Ioane, you said you were going to march off from the village towards Jarrus's workshop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Corona, you were going to follow. And
Yep.
Rest of you, what you all doing? So just to remind, just to get you up quiet hearts, at the news that the Anzu is defeated and that the Moonscale are willing to assist in an assault to free the island, the village seems to be getting rather excited. Perhaps another follow-up of the party at the Moonscale, but yeah, it's still a few hours yet until sunset. So basically, have the day to rest or do what you want in the village.
And none of this could have been possible without the brave ninja who destroyed the Anzu.
Mm-hmm.
Amon is taking his time to tell everybody the story that he can.
Oh my god, you're just citing your death warrant.
Well, to be fair,
What?
Amon is relaying the story on and off about how they slayed the Anzu, but he is ending it every time, showing that Ryoko came through and helped carry the end.
There will be a party, all right, and I will be the roast beast.
Oh yes, consequences, my old friend. We drink.
Ryoko is indeed drinking.
So, Ioane and Kuroto, unless anyone else wanted to follow after you, you speak now or forever hold your peace. But you head off into the jungle. Ioane, how pissed are you? Like, are you disadvantaged on perception checks? Kind of pissed.
He was glowering a little bit at the captain, but he's purposely on the walk to try to unwind himself.
Yeah, the captain also seemed a little unnerved at seeing you pissed off, since she got a good feeling, when she hired you. But a good sense of your character and having worked with you during the trip, she, like everyone else, was kind of shocked by your intensity there.
Mm-hmm. So he's not stomping through the jungle, but he is trying to take his time, catch his breath, because he doesn't like feeling like this.
Corona is she followed him, and she's he knows that she's there, but she's not saying a word. She's just following him silently.
He does stop at one point and is like, "Yeah, marching off into the woods on my own probably wasn't the smartest thing. So thanks for that."
I noticed that you look like you needed to get things off of your chest, and sometimes being alone and silent is the only thing that works. Unfortunately, being alone is not an option right now.
Yeah.
you feel
Just
better?
shitty feeling. Oh, it's a shitty feeling. Feeling so angry like this. I don't like feeling angry.
It's inevitable, she says, like, really slowly, that sometimes people feel emotions that they don't want.
Oh, definitely. The difference is, when I get angry, people get scared.
Well,
So it's not exactly just a me problem anymore.
most people, when somebody is that angry, will get scared, no matter who they are.
Yeah, but, it's a little different when the guy who's angry at you is, like, comes up to your knee.
She just kind of chuckles and goes, "Don't let Aman hear you say that."
I mean, I kinda did
Sure, with the
accidentally
height
step
difference,
on
it
him.
probably comes up to his shin.
Yeah, it's like, right, he actually comes up only to my shin.
I mean, we're
Not to
again,
make
you two
little
are
of him.
really at, like, oh my god,
Not to
you two
make
really
them-
are at the extreme ends of the PC slider scale of possible sizes.
It's
Mhm,
why we're good friends.
mhm,
Waiting for that fastball special.
Yeah.
mhm.
Gotta happen.
Whoa, Dinosuchus upon you. Oh, Raptor upon you.
Whoa, Troodon in your face.
I don't suppose you would like to talk about it?
Maybe later, because I feel like I'll have to explain myself to Rayon, and this is, something I'd rather only say once.
She just kind of, she nods her head and she goes, "Yeah, I understand. New concepts are going to come up with her, and it's better to explain them as they come instead of trying to drive ourselves mad figuring out what she does and does not know."
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that some of those things are going to upset us. I personally understand your feelings about undead, although I don't feel them to the same extent, I don't think.
Yeah. You can say it's personal.
And I will not dig any farther.
Thanks. I'll, spill my guts later, just not right now in the middle of the jungle where there's so many things that could spill it.
Wise enough.
Ominous, distant buzzing.
Yeah, you know what they say, blood in the water and all. Not good to be emotionally vulnerable while you're on the job.
Or in the middle of a jungle where things would like to eat you no matter what size you are.
Oh, same thing as the ocean, really. There's always something that wants to eat you.
It's a great equalizer. You realize you could be predator or prey.
Yep. So, whatever fish punches my ticket, that's it then.
It will have a hell of a fight on its hands.
Yep.
So, what exactly are we going to the Alchemist for again? I've forgotten. With everything that's been happening.
Well, the Moonscale were kind enough to show me some preservative methods for all them troll bits. Seems he might be smart enough to figure out how that healing stuff works.
No.
Oh, you can also say you grabbed the bag of holding from Amon, since I think that's where most of the Anzu bits were.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bits.
Yeah.
Absolutely coated. It would be absolutely coated in gore if it wasn't a bag of holding.
Mm-hmm. It's another good reason why Rayon isn't here, because it's grisly work.
So it wouldn't take too long since you've both been there before, and there is pretty much like a path walked back and forth that you can follow, and with Corono's pretty decent passive perception, anything that would be a problem you can avoid. You avoid, you hear what something rustling, but you stop and it passes through the brush on its way. Nothing really jumps out at you. So I don't remember how long it would take, but a while later you come out to the clearing where the little it's like a half collapsed building. I can't remember if it was a full lighthouse that I said it was. No, because the lighthouse is on the southern point of the island. Yeah, no, this was just what looked to be like a small little outpost that collapsed, probably from the Maricians or the Ruby Empire, and when this island changed hands during the different wars. But
Mm-hmm.
you don't see them outside. You do see the turtle has been shifted around, is actually closer to the front, and it's uncovered, and there's parts strewn about, pieces of scrap, and it looks like it's being worked on. And actually, not like a minute later, as you start walking around, or if you call out, walking out from the half collapsed ruins, you see Jarus the Triton with Islap the Closet walking alongside them as they're seem to be having an animated discussion, both of them carrying what looks to bits and pieces and tools, and they both kind of stop and go, "Oh, visitors," or Jarus stops and goes, "Oh, visitors, welcome back."
Oh.
And Pizlop gives a little wave and goes, "Hey, so you survived, huh?"
Yeah.
We have.
Hope you're not too disappointed.
No, I was pretty sure you survived. You kicked, my old boss's butt. He was pretty sure you would survive. Tried to make a bet, but we both thought you would survive, so it's not really much of a bet. And the Triton just kind of rolls his eyes.
You could have bet how well we would have survived.
I wanted to, but he said that was too grim. But and he goes, anyways, what can I do for you? Kind of chuckles. And goes,
Well, speaking of grim, I got some bits and pieces of troll and bird.
I mean, yeah, let's see what you got. As he kind of sets down the tools and pulls on his goggles, where it looks to be very handmade, where the different lenses that he starts flicking down in preparation, are not meant for these goggles originally. It looks like he handmade these from pieces of scrap that washed up on the shore that he handmade himself. And very castaway, artificey, very. Um,
Yeah, according to
Go
my
on it.
treasure, got 14 pounds of troll skin, 10 vials of troll blood, and 2 troll hearts.
It would actually, by this point, be 15 pounds of troll skin.
It took me a second.
What? Wait.
Trolls can regenerate from
Mm.
any severed part.
Yeah. No. So they can't regenerate. They usually can't regenerate from any single part.
No, though sometimes when enough bits are cut off, those bits will keep regenerating without the body.
Also, sometimes the DM likes to have fun and just, ideas come to him in the moment.
Freak
Yeah.
the fucking players out, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, Ioani's reaction is less freak out.
Pardon.
It's like, oh, hey, even more loot with less work.
Hey, more troll skin.
I'm sure you could find a way to use this, and hopefully it don't grow back.
Oh, I mean, I can render down a lot of these to make some pretty good healing potions. Nothing that would, give you the regenerative powers of a troll itself, but yeah, I can make, a couple of things I can make with these.
Anything you can make out of them would be appreciated.
Yeah, especially since we're gearing up to fight whatever's down on the reef.
And they both kind of perk up at that, and Jarvis is like, wait, so we could eventually maybe return home?
Yeah?
That is the ultimate goal.
Oh. That would be so great. I haven't seen Maradonia in so long. I mean, I was on my way home when, the ship got wrecked.
Oh man, that sucks.
Eh.
But I'm not too worried. To be honest, hunting a giant flying thunderbird was new for me, but something that swims, I can work with that.
All right. And so, do you just give him everything
Yes.
from the troll? He goes, yeah, I'll get to work. And he looks to piss up and he goes, you keep working on the turtle, see what you can do. And he goes, well, you don't trust me with an alchemy lab? And he goes, no, I don't. You specifically told me you don't do alchemy. And he goes, you're right. You're good to remember that. All right. And he goes over and hops up on the turtle, well, the shell, I guess, like one of the whole pieces, and has some tools with his tail and just starts oh, I hate to see a piece of machinery not working, so I'm just gonna keep working on this.
And not to put too much on not to put too much on your plate, but we also got lots of bits and bobs from the Yanzu.
Oh, something special like that, I could definitely whip up something. Yeah, it'll all depend on the unique attributes of the ingredients, but yeah, I can something that rare and powerful from what I've seen and heard of people talk about it. Plus that close encounter when you guys saved me from the bugs, and then that thing swooped down. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you took care of that.
Yeah, one thing that's probably going to interest you is this here organ. It looks a lot like some lightning organs I've cut out of fish. That
he takes a look at it and he goes, "Oh, yeah, this is
I
Oh,
can
shit.
I can vouch for its effectiveness because it gave me such a hell of a shock. Now I have permanent static.
Oh. And he kind of, like, as if he's debating, and then he reaches out, pokes you in the arm, misses the tattoo, and he's like, huh. Pokes you again, hits the tattoo, static zap. Oh. Shit.
But yeah, that's probably just because this is Kraken ink or whatever. That's already magic. But yeah, there's plenty of other stuff in here. Just take a look, and he, shows him the bag
You're
with.
saying your tattoos are Kraken ink? Yeah,
Yeah.
that would make sense. I've never studied Kraken myself, but from, Kraken ink and blood is like one of the very lots of uses you can make from that. So yeah, that would. This thing has been corrupted by the primal tide, like people were saying, and your tattoos are Kraken ink. Yeah, that would. I mean, never heard of it happening before, but I mean, it would track.
Yeah, and just think, technically, this Anzu is technically a unique specimen. You're like the only person to ever get your hands on its anatomy.
Oh well, now you're just sweet talking me.
Well, I hope this isn't hurtful, but I think you're just a nerd, and nerds do good work.
Kurono has to
he
look
does
away
check on that.
real
He goes,
quick.
"Thanks," and he seems like he does seem a little confused at that. He goes, "Thanks." I mean, engineering and artificy is a very honored. Anyways,
Well,
he's getting a little
I'm
flustered. He goes,
sometimes I'm a little, I can't help but be a little jealous. I mean, so you could mix potions and shit, and you're working on the robot turtle over there, and I can't read.
"Oh, wait, can he not read?"
I haven't really much needed to read.
No, that wasn't him. That was me asking. But oh, I mean, I guess, and he kind of looks to Corona as if for backup, and he looks over at the turtle where Pizlop is just kind of sitting there, elbow, leaning on his elbows, chin propped up on his hands, just watching, and he still scowls at the closet, and then he goes, I mean, there's no way I'd be able to take out the Anzu. Everyone has their own strength. I'm gonna get to work on these, and Pizlop starts cackling from the turtle as he dives in when Jarvis shoots him a glare, and he goes, anyways, yeah, I'll get these all whipped up into something, bring them into town. Wow, I'm going to be busy.
Yeah, sorry to dump this all on you at once.
They all just kind of fell into our lap at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, you find any more, monstrous, unique specimens that you think I might, yeah, bring them here. I'll see what I can make. Also, like, my assistant, and you hear an indignant squawk from inside. Partner, my assistant said, we do need a power core if we're going to get this thing moving. And Orvir said that we Orvir went out on this, so no, he didn't say that. He goes, it's not that big of a deal, but I still think this would be very useful for the village.
Yeah, we can keep an eye out for it if we, what does it look like?
And Pizlop kind of pops his head out again and goes, oh, I pointed out on the map.
Oh, right.
He goes, the northern outpost, north point of the island. There was a war machine stomping around there. When some other members of my cohort were scouting around. So, but it was a big stompy thing, and the boss was getting ready to maybe. He said she was gonna maybe use that as a test run for the big monster that my masterpiece that you scrapped. Not that I'm angry or anything. Dives back into the turtle. And Jarvis goes, so yeah, if you ever find yourself up that way, that might be a suitable location to find a core if there is a working war machine stomping around, as he says.
I'll remind the others of that. I think we all forgot, and there was a little bit of chaos there for a while.
Yeah. Long list of things on the island that would very much like to kill us.
I mean, it sounds like it. You got what looks to be about. Well, yeah, you got 2 troll hearts here. Well, no, 1 troll heart. Enough bits here for what looks to be maybe 1.5 trolls, and you say you took down the Anzu. Yeah, I can see you've been busy.
Yeah.
And then he kind of gestures to where the I think closets are demons, where they're rooting around inside the turtle machine, and he goes, I mean, and then he was saying, shut down a competing workshop, I guess. Glad she never. And he kind of frowns and lowers his voice. He says that if they knew I was out here working, they would have abducted me weeks ago to help them out. So glad you took her out before she learned about me. And he kind of looks at where the closet's still working, like pops out, grabs another tool, another piece of machinery, dives in. He goes, never worked with a fiend, but honestly, he's not too different from some of the goblins and gnomes I've worked with. Back some of the engineering groups.
As long as
He
Yeah,
kind of looks to you.
he kind of has that vibe.
He goes, honestly, he's not too different from some of the goblin tinkers I worked with from the Republic.
Well, that seems about right.
Yeah, you would know exactly what you mean. What he means. The goblins who like work on the blue coil machinery and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have black thumbs. They're not black
Blue.
thumbs. They're blue thumbs. Anyways, so he goes. So I get working on this and I'll see what I can whip up from the special bits. And he goes, for the trolls, there's some utility stuff I can do, or do you want just pure restorative?
Well, what do you mean?
He brought me a heart, so the hearts you can make into both healing, restorative potions, but it can also create a potion or a draught that can temporarily enhance your vigor.
Huh. Well, that's a hard question.
Which, yeah, it would give you the not the regenerative properties. I would need to render down basically a full troll to even approach making a regenerative potion like that. But it would be able to bolster your he starts using technical terms. Yes, it would potentially boost your hit points and constitution is the vibe he's giving. But he goes, but I understand that restorative is typically what most mercenary adventurers typically need. Or, well, what they always need.
the vitality boost, if we had one and we go against that thing in the ocean, would be fairly good for you in the moment.
Yeah, what is it they say? Ounce of prevention, pound of cure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I will also just point out as the DM, you did. Kano did say that you should ask the alchemist about potentially acid resist potions for your coup.
Ah,
I'm bringing that up because I just remembered he said that.
He did say that. Oh, also, we met a little halfling fellow down by the Ankegs. He
Oh,
asked about acid resistance.
were they trying to eat
potions.
him?
He seems to be some sort of insect farmer, and he wants to.
I have heard of halflings doing that, so okay.
He seems to want to stage a coup against the king and queen, and she's making like finger quotes as she says king and queen.
Kind of scratches behind one of his fins. It's like, oh, okay.
And he was wondering, since it would both make the Onkegs less aggressive towards everybody on the island, if he does this, and potentially help us with our getting off the island situation. If you knew anything about making acid resistance potions.
Oh yeah, I know how to whip those up. I need to send out one of the hunters or some of them, or if you happen to stumble across them, I can write out a list of what ingredients I would need. But yeah, I should be able to whip those up, no problem, if I get the materials. It's fairly standard.
I would appreciate that list.
He's thinking, he goes, Oncake farm. There are a lot you can harvest from oncags. All their so many glands and pheromones and those creepy things, but it'd be worth it. And then he starts thinking, he goes, I mean, and he kind of like looks back towards, like, pours in towards the island because you're right by the closer you can see the sea. And he goes, honestly, this island, if it can be, I want to say tamed, but made a little bit safer, there's a lot to exploit. There's
a lot of resources.
There's a lot of value here. Yes, resources. That's the DM failing, because there's a lot of resources to draw upon on this island if we can,
make it not
make
a ship
it safer.
graveyard.
And we weren't worried about walking off into the the jungle.
Or the
That's why I sleep with my and he goes, and Pizlop pops his head out and goes, you should see it. He changes ankle to his bed every night, and he goes, oh, yeah, I live out by myself. What else am I gonna do?
Has it prevented him from walking off?
I mean, I've never walked off yet, but you like, I mean, look at the village. Not everyone's walked off. It's just every once in a while someone does.
Precaution is a
Although they
precaution.
have been getting a little, and he kind of frowns and he goes, although from what they've told me from, maybe it's just they bring it up because like come to bring me supplies, or I go into village, it's always the first thing someone brings up if it does happen. But it does seem that the last year or so there have been more people walking off. Last time I talked to Matilda, she seemed kind of worried about that. Because it's like, it'd be like one or two people every few months or so. But now, last time, he starts thinking as he starts recalling, he goes, yeah, it feels like maybe one person like every month or so. Last year, maybe more. haven't talked to the Moonscale in a while, but we've been having trouble too.
We did prevent a couple from walking off when we were with them.
Oh, that's good. So, yeah. If we deal with whatever's out there, kind of looks over his shoulder to the water. And once we do it, if you can deal with that, if he looks back and gives a thumbs up, all good. And he kind of frowns and goes, "It's weird. You shouldn't be afraid of the water, but I haven't been in the ocean since I crawled out of it."
It's unfortunate. Oh, DM above game. Did we ever figure out where that Aurum mine was, where those lizard folk were potentially enslaved in?
Utra said they were still hunting for it, but they are narrowing it down to the southwestern corner of the island. They're just not sure where.
That would be a good thing to potentially ask the magic man in front of me, so I'm going to. Oh, also, this might be a long shot. Do you know of the location, maybe, potentially, of an Aurum mine?
An Aurum mine? No. There's one on the island?
Mm-hmm.
And you hear the rustling inside the turtle as Pizlop, emerges from deeper inside. He goes, "Oh yeah, didn't I tell you that? Sometimes we got ingots of this stuff shipped with us with the blood sacrifices." Dives back in. And he goes, "No, you did not tell me that." And he's just like, "Okay, there's Aurum? There's an Aurum mine here." And he's like, starts looking at you both very intensely.
Yes, some of the lizard folk that we brought back to their senses are tideborn.
They had gold lung?
Yeah, they had gold lung.
Yeah, that... Ooh. You know what I said about this place having valuable resources, and I was just talking about, medicinal stuff and on-keg stuff and, what you could get from the ocean if it was made safe? Aurum overshadows that, and he goes, "That would explain why the Maricians kept fighting over this island, or he goes, why we kept fighting over the island." And it's just like, he's like, Aurum has caused wars to break out. It is, and if you would have some bricks of it if you had the bag of holding on you.
There is some in this bag.
His eyes go wide and he goes, "I don't mean to propose, but may I inspect it?"
She's gonna look at Ioane. He's like, "Is that all right with you? This is your loot, basically."
Well, technically, this bag's from Amon. He just hands it over to you.
I don't want to give all of it away. Is it alright if I just give you one piece? Because it isn't technically mine.
I'm not even asking to keep it. If I will gladly trade for it. If
it's
I just want to check it out. Yeah.
She'll hand it over.
And he takes it, and you just see his eyes go wide as he starts flicking down different lenses and pulls out what looks to be like almost looks like a tuning fork as he taps it and brings it up to his ear and listens to the vibrations it produces. He goes, "Well, oh, Reef Mother, take me. This is pure Aurum."
Ryan has picked up some of that.
Corona's gonna lean over to Ioane and goes, "He's way too excited for metal."
No, like...
This is a whisper.
You don't understand.
This is a whisper. She's whispering.
And he's just like, he's looking at it and he goes, "Well,
Only 2 ingots, never mind. Thought she had more.
So, this has been processed. This isn't just raw ore. this has been worked. That requires machinery, or not machinery, but specific forges. I mean, if this was an old, Empire and Ruby Empire, he kind of frowns and he goes, "It's really difficult when I come from a place that is an empire who used to be at war with another empire to talk about their conflicts." Anyways,
I understand.
Mercians and the Ruby Empire kept fighting over this island, and I thought it was always weird that random island out in the middle of nowhere, no real strategic importance beyond maybe a waypoint, but if they thought there was an ore mine here, that would make so much sense.
Pisslop, I don't suppose you know where this came from? Like on the island itself.
And he kind of pops up and he goes, I may or may not.
What would you like to give for me to give you, for you to tell me?
A percentage.
She tilts
Oh
her
my
head
God.
and goes, well, finder's fee is usually reasonable.
Well,
If your information is correct. If it's not, and we
And he
find it
kind
by
of, like-
ourselves, all bets are off.
yeah, and he kind of sits there, kind of. It's kind of funny seeing this horrible little demon purse his lips, squint thoughtfully, tapping his fingers in front of his mouth, just in thought. He goes, I may have spoken to one of my other closet compatriots when they were in service of a previous boss. And I may know where they tracked them. In fact, I believe they actually managed to escape your calling. So you can help me track that slippery little bitch down. We might be able to convince him to tell us where it is, and I want a percentage of whatever gets produced from the discovery of this mine. She said, if you find it before me, all bets are off.
Okay. Well, we will have to
And
do.
Jarrus goes, kind of goes, I'd probably get this in writing before you agree to anything.
Oh, I plan on it.
Leans over and says it.
Don't worry, I plan on it.
Yeah, isn't it usually, not a good idea to make deals with devils?
Fortunately for me, I have somebody I can ask to make sure that it's airtight.
See, hold on. I need to see. Okay, imps are devils, closets are demons. Yeah, kind of.
Right.
Because eye twitches when you say make a deal with the devil, but he doesn't say anything.
Oh wow, a microaggression.
We will have to discuss this with the rest of our party. I'm not authorized to make this sort of decision alone.
Oh, of course.
But if I do happen to find your colleague, I will bring him straight to you.
Yes, and hold on, let me. Alright, hold on. What is this guy's name? Oh, come on. How do you like this?
The DM notes. Blessing and a
Well,
curse.
no, random generator. It goes, yes, Mullis.
Mullis.
Or mole ass, as we called him, but Mullis.
He did dig for ore, so I suppose that joke is fun.
Oh, yes. It's gonna be perfect.
So I will return with that decision later.
Can't really predict where he's gone since then, but yeah, he was, set on scouting, troll duty around the workshop in the swamp. But yeah, I think you approached from the end that he wasn't stationed. The good chance he survived is now just some animal somewhere being a little dick.
Well, we'll find him, and we'll bring him back to you.
Excellent. And Jarvis goes. Looks at you both now that Tislop, as he's like giggling excitedly, dives back into the machinery. And Jarvis kind of like turns back to the both of you. Goes, it's a little disconcerting when he gets excited, right?
I mean,
But I mean,
well, like we said, he reminds me a lot of goblins I know.
Yes, but I mean, jeez, I'll be honest. If there is an ore mine here that can be claimed and run, I'm probably not gonna move out, or I might just make set up here, because that will set up everyone on the island for life. If we can get the village to agree to mining this, I'm getting ahead of myself, but
Yeah, because
I try not to be a greedy person. You basically strike it rich, or you know where to strike it rich. You start seeing the glint. Telbadius is getting to me. Okay, I gotta go focus on these potions.
yeah.
And he goes and starts carting off the parts.
To be honest, I was asking about
Okay.
the Aura mine because there might be more lizard folk there that we could help. But I suppose the monetary value is a secondary bonus?
Oh, I'm so sorry. And he kind of does look kind of embarrassed about that as he goes,
Oh, no.
oh, that would make so much sense why they've been abducting people. They would need people to work the mines. You can't really have Sahagin and Marrow doing a mine on dry land.
She tilts her head at him and goes, it's not... Don't mistake me. I'm not upset with you for being excited about the monetary gain. I was just... one step at a time.
Yes. And honestly, it's not even the monetary, it's with... And he handed back the ingot, because they're not like full bars. There's like a small little ingot, a smaller ingot, and he goes, with that much, I don't have the machinery to process it, but with just that much, I could power 10 of these. And he gestures to the turtle.
Turtle.
Do not bring that evil here.
Literally.
You still need a power go, though, right?
Yeah. I need something, already processed and powered. I don't have the appropriate machinery to, it's a lot of complicated parts, but
Right.
Taking a shipment of this to appropriate ports, then I could get that machinery and bring it back, or there might even be machinery wherever they're processing this.
Yeah, I just don't hope it brings more trouble to this island. The Moonscale have already gone through enough.
Yes, that's that would be something to be concerned about. And if you can stake, if a claim can be staked on the island, that should be able to, diplomatically keep most things polite. But then you still have to, once news got out, there'd still be, raiders, pirates, unscrupulous mercenaries, people looking to exploit this or take it for themselves.
Yeah, so it might be best overall if
Maybe
it's
keep
kept a
it
secret.
quiet for now, because I do know that there are some in the village that they were pirates and before they washed up. No judgment or anything.
Especially, yeah, but
Little
if we're
judgment,
going to be
but
opening up the floodgates,
yeah, because people are definitely going to want to leave the island. I know I've talked to some people who say they've lived more time here on the island than they have out there. So, or like some of the pirates,
though it does
safer here on the
suddenly,
island than sailing around with a bounty on them.
though it does occur to me now, even if, well, not if, when, try to be positive about this, even when we take down the thing that's keeping us here, I don't think anyone's got a ship that's seaworthy.
Well, that's true. I know that to talk to some of the village, they've tried to ask me for opinions and actually help them develop a ceiling tar recipe from some of the saps here, but or resin for boats, but they say that they're trying to work on some, but there hasn't been really much concerted effort since, well, there was the bird that would attack anything that tried sailing out, and then if they got past the bird, there's still the thing swimming around in the whale.
Once the problems are taken care of, it would be easier to focus on making a boat as well.
Yeah. I mean, and who knows? Now that there's no threat, might be able to send a message, or maybe someone can fly out. He kind of gestures. He goes, not volunteering or anything, but there are a few others and some harpies that might be able to make the trip.
That is
There is Neri and like two other harpies that are part of the village, but they and I think a few albatrosians too. So yeah, there are a few people that can fly, but it was mainly the Anzu keeping everyone from, heading out.
We could either build one here, or after we have all the problems taken care of, fly out and ask for aid.
Yes, but
Lots of
yes,
plans.
problems for later. Yeah. What I'm going to do now is go work on these, and he gravely goes, and he grins and then kind of like makes a funny face. He goes, I was about to say something that might be taken a little poorly by some people, but I'm glad you shipwrecked here. Things are starting to look up. And he kind of has this expression like, should I be saying this?
I just take it that I am here because I'm needed here, and that's why I ended up shipwrecked. Sometimes things happen for a reason.
I'll take it. And this time he starts carting off. He goes, so, tell the village, and whoever's planning things, tell them you got my support, and I get some progress made, I'll ship these in to the village, or, next time you come to visit me.
Thank you again.
So,
You head back, you want?
Yeah.
Okay. So Pizlop is busy at work, but he pops up and he goes, "See you later." And remember, Molus, mole ass.
Molus, yes.
He likes to pretend to be a monkey sometimes. That's usually the form he is. So
Looks at Carano.
Monkey!
Monkey.
Carano gives you like a side glance out of her eye, and she's got like mischief in it. She's like, "We'll keep that in mind." And she's got something to like tell you after we are out of earshot.
and Pizlop gives a thumbs up and dives back into the guts of the turtle machine. The shell razor. So, okay, so you two start marching off.
Monkey!
Mm-hmm.
Once we are out of earshot, she's going to turn to Yuane and go, "You notice that I didn't say that I would bring his comrade back before I asked him my questions." There was
Shit, I
no
didn't
deal
notice that.
struck beyond me bringing him back.
Oh, damn.
All right.
He's a devil, I guess.
I'm glad you handled that, not me.
And I'm sure that
Yeah.
when I have my hands around his neck, he'll be a little more talkative.
I mean, considering how
God.
tiny he is, I probably could just fit his entire body in my hand.
Oh no, I meant
This
this
is-
Molus.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. He would be probably very interested in telling us what we want to know.
Try to squeeze him, turns into porcupine.
I wouldn't be surprised if Molus turned into a mollusk and just slipped out of my grasp.
It's fine, we'll just throw him down a hole.
Yahoo!
Yeah, there's got to be a hole to the Underdark here somewhere.
Like that one. It's like the passage to the underworld in Moana. And I climb the tallest mountain.
I'm still falling!
So, anything else you wanted to talk to on the way back, or switch to?
I'm good to switch.
I'm good to switch.
Okay.
We're both very
Okay,
quiet.
So, alright. So, come on, Ryoko and Quiet Hearts. What y'all doing?
Fucking
By
drinking.
this point. Because by this point, Rayan probably walks out of the cavern, or the
Yeah,
little dirt hut.
dusting herself off. God damn it.
It's more like a dugout where it was mostly dug to store food somewhere dry and safe.
Comes out and looks around. Who's out here?
It's just pretty active.
mean, Player wise. Does he see any of the other
yeah.
players?
It's up to them. What y'all
Okay.
doing?
I would assume that Amon, before handing off the bag for all of the crafting parts, took out some of the Anzu meat to bring over to the one lady, whose name was mentioned earlier, but has already left Brine.
Susanna.
Suzette. I would have approached Suzette like, here, I have food. It's mostly not contaminated.
She was like, "Oh, so very. What an odd thing to say." As she takes it and starts inspecting it, she goes, "This is the Anzu, isn't it?"
This is the Anzu, yes. That's why it's mostly not contaminated.
Okay. She kind of takes it over to like a long, like a log that got sliced in half and just is now the flat tabletop that a lot of the cooking area is. And she's like, "Well, let's see what." And she goes, cuts it off a piece and starts grilling it to see what it would taste like. And she goes, "So, what was it like fighting the Anzu? That thing was. I've had a hide from that thing before, and it's stolen more than a few hunts from me."
A little nerve-wracking, if I'm being honest. I'm used to fighting things that are much larger than I am from my homeland, but that got a little dicey. Especially because it could just fly out of reach, and half of the battle was me just shooting arrows in an attempt to get it down. Though it was actually our most loyal compatriot over there gesturing towards.
You fuck. Her ears burn every time you mention it.
Who got the
I bet
who got the
Ryoko's
action?
just sitting off to where it's like they keep the barrels and gourds of booze.
But our wonderful stealthy agent got the final blow in. But it was at one point a large three-way brawl between the Anzu, our friend Owane, and myself, with support from the more magically inclined people as well, from what I can recall.
Impressive.
Most impressive.
I've got a few scars from that one that will make for some interesting stories in the future. But I think my favorite part, and he reaches down to his little quiver, is that I have these. I don't know what they're going to do, but I have these wonderful arrows made from the Anzu.
Yeah, I see. As
Mhm.
first time you saw her, she had a longbow carrying in. Can't remember what animal it was, but she's an archer herself. She goes, "Oh wow." She's like looking it over. She goes, "Nicely made and good fletching."
Thank you. It's not often I get to practice the fletching arrows. So
she hands it back. She goes, "It looks pretty sturdy and fitting." Fitting that you can sort of honor it by making something useful from it.
Oh yes, I believe Ione and Karano headed over to the alchemist to see if they could forge more materials. But in terms of some of the fights, it was probably the most harrowing I've been in, especially since I've been on the island. But why aim for just the Anzu?
I bet there have been. No one really wanted to say it just in case that we didn't see it again. But you're not the first group of people who decided maybe we could take it on and went off and didn't come back. But glad you broke that trend.
I'm glad we did as well. But we're not done here. We're apparently going after the thing in the reef as our next big target. But we're going after some. But to
do us a favor and put these arrows in its eyes. I'm tired of seeing it when I sleep.
Oh yes, I'm pretty sure that's the first thing I'll be doing when I see it.
And she reaches over and picks up the little skewer she had of the meat and hands you one of them. She goes, "Well, let's see what it tastes like." And it's just no real seasoning or anything. It was just to see how the meat cooked. And she's like, "You choose it thoughtfully." Goes, "That is weird. It tastes like fish, but it chews like meat or like bird."
It's not a bad consistency. This would jerky really well.
Yeah. She's like, it kind of tastes like crocodile.
Yeah. That's why I'm getting a similar flavor pattern.
I've been to Gatorland. Gator nuggets tasted more like chicken. I was like a fucking child, so God knows my memory could be faulty, but
I mean, crocodiles could be weird here in Rukor.
I mean, I'm from an island of dinosaurs. Crocodile is a common water food.
Also, you got to be careful around water, or else you become food for them. So, oh god, that sounds gross.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
Amon quickly devours the meat on his, like, this reminds me of home in a good way. Which is good, because otherwise I would be potentially disgusted. But
She laughs at that. She goes, I mean, I was basically born on this island, so, well, Ben, I was only a few years old when we ended up washing ashore here, so I don't really remember much, but I talked about Gardinia. She said she visited there once or twice.
it's a lovely place if you get the chance to visit. We are surprising, unlike some places, we are welcoming of new arrivals for people from foreign lands to see and visit our home. I come from one of the coastal towns, which was one of the reasons I even began to travel. Was just to see more of the world and of these people I've encountered most of my life.
Nice.
And then,
I mean, if... Oh, sorry, go.
no, go ahead.
She goes, I mean, if you and Orvir manage to take out the eyes in the deep, and we can leave again, might be nice to visit sometime. Definitely one of the places I always thought would be interesting. We haven't really had... I do remember, like, 2 other people like you who have come through, but they, either passed away or passed on, or one of them we think walked off into the night.
No. It's unfortunate, but
They spoke fondly of their home, so
it is a good place to go visit. A good place to settle down. I cannot wait to return at some point, but I have other places I want to see. In particular, Ione has talked about those icy realms of his home up north with big creatures, and I am eager to set my eyes upon it.
oh yeah. Jeez, I can't even imagine what snow is like. Sounds weird. I mean, we have had, people with magic who could freeze water and stuff, but it's like, just to see everything covered in it just seems fantastical. She kind of shrugs and goes, she kind of looks thoughtful for a moment. She goes, I guess maybe I should really travel if we can't get off the island.
Yes.
I
recommend
anyways, I'll keep that in mind, but I should get to doing this. We gotta both nights that you're in town, and we gotta celebrate.
I mean, I'll take it. And besides, I want to see how people react to eating the great and mighty Onzu.
And she nods, and she'll take, whatever you want to give, and her and some of the other people will start dicing it up, and talking of ways to prepare it. Like, they're preparing a few to do like skewers, like shish kebab, or someone's maybe thinking of like dicing it up for the stew.
Amon will give them all of the Onzu meat he has.
All right.
Rayan spots the aimless Quiet Hearts.
Yeah, they would be kind of just wandering.
Yeah, so Quiet Hearts, you said you might check out the
clinic,
healing hut, basically. Yeah, it's you actually go up to it, and it's one of the huts, one of the bigger ones, and you actually see you recognize it as the clinic. It could be called that for what it is, because you recognize the symbol of a Yeah, hand carved into the door, but you recognize it. A flask wrapped, the symbol of a flask wrapped in gauze, and the flask is actually painted red. The symbol of the basically the international symbol of healers, the symbol of Saint Sanguisuga, the leech god of healing. And
I'd forgotten about that. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
but stepping inside, you don't see a Haruto, but you see you actually see an orc woman who kind of looks up from where she's wrapping what looks to be like some kind of looks like kelp around someone's arm. Looks like maybe they have a burn. And she looks up. She goes, "Can I help you?"
Yes, I was wondering if anyone could use if anyone might need some healing.
And she looks around, and there are like a few like beds and even just a few chairs where there's a few people sitting. There's a few coughs, someone's sniffling off in a corner. The other person, it looks like they're just reclining as their leg is up in what looks to be maybe a splint. And she goes, "If you have skills, you won't be turned away. What can you do?"
I am not a cleric, but I can channel some divinity and heal.
Oh, healing touch is always welcome. And she goes, "We have a few that are suffering from a sickness that perhaps you might be able to assist them better than my potion, or faster than some of my tinctures. Unfortunately, I am not a cleric myself, but I do what I can." And she takes you over to this, actually kind of a, you can't really tell if they're elderly or not, because this is kind of what all turtles seem like. Very wrinkled and wizened. And they look up from where they're sitting on their chair as they cover their beak-like mouth with a cloth, and as they're coughing, they sound kind of raspy. And it goes, they don't say anything, they just look up and she goes, "They have a persistent wetness to their lungs. If I had better medicine, she goes, "The medicine is working, but it is going to, they're going to hurt worse before they get better. If you could."
Oh shit, is
kinda
it the
gestures
gold
to them.
lung? Sorry.
I mean, if you said you were following Quiet Heart, so maybe
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
have stepped in. She
Yeah,
looks
from
up
like
and she goes,
just from behind you hear, "Is that gold lung?"
"No, it is a common, well, it is a fairly common affliction that sometimes comes. It's." She goes, "It comes from bites from mosquitoes and other blood-sucking insects."
Oh.
Okay. Well, Quiet Hearts is going to slowly reach towards them and then pause and then look at the turtle and go, "May I help you?"
They do a persuasion check. First
Good.
roll of the night, I just realized, geez.
Don't. I tried to click performance so hard. 14.
14? They kind of squint for a moment, but then they nod and it goes, "If you think it will help."
Okay. Gotta burn 5 lay on hands to basically cure a disease.
Yep.
And I would like to describe how this happens because they're not a primary healer. It's Quiet Heart's methods of healing is very brutal and very it gets the job done.
Oh, this
It just
is gonna be great.
no, it is because they basically glance over and goes, "I'm sorry, I'm not a dedicated healer. This might hurt a little." And they reach toward them and make a grasping motion and then a yank, and just like this weird like ethereal cloud is pulled from their body, and it's just like it oozes from the pores, from the mouth, from the eyes, from
Ugh.
the ears. It's
Oh, you Green
decidedly
Miled them.
unpleasant, and it's just this pulling of this like a mass of viral infection, and then they reach up and they grab it and they begin to crush it
Oh my
as
god!
there's just like this soft glow, and it's just like thousands upon millions of viral lives are silenced in an instant until they finally just crack their
Jesus!
fists together, and it's just a dull glow, and then open their hand and then it's just gone.
Did you just
The
Alderon
turtle,
that
as you
disease?
Yes,
Just what?
like, it is very unpleasant for someone to go through.
Yeah, the turtle like coughs and hacks. It feels like it's just being the sickness is quite literally pulled from him, and he like thinks and coughs and just kind of looks wild-eyed at you for a moment. As actually, the orc doctor is also looking at you in surprise and goes, That was quite something."
Apologies, I'm not much of a healer, or this wouldn't hurt.
And she goes, "Well, save your apologies. Let me check him." And she leans down and makes the turtle open his beak and like starts looking at his tonsils. And she goes, "Yeah, it looks like, yeah, it's clearing up. So yes, you do not have to apologize." And she kind of gives the turtle a pat on the shell and goes, "All right, you should be good to go. Just wait here just a minute, and I'll check you out in just a second." And she turns back and she goes, "I mean, if you got enough to help two others, there are two others with it that could use some help.
Yes, of course.
Teenager and she leads you over to a teenage elf, wood elf, and a middle-aged human woman, and they both seem to have varying stages of this rasping cough, and it's something called like the flux or something. I'll have to come up with a proper name, but it's not actually like the flux, the actual disease, but it's like this, almost like a pneumonia type infection
Skeeter
from the
flu,
way it
gotcha.
sounds. Yeah, kind of basically, and the teenager seems to be getting the worst of it, and because they're like laying down with the cold press on their forehead, trying to keep their temperature down. But once you come up and once again rip and burn this viral infection out of them, they like sit up coughing, clearing their lungs, and then they look around like, "Oh, I feel so much better." Basically, the same thing happens with the woman, and both times this doctor is just watching very intensely, just like fascinated with what you're doing.
Like, unless they're too delirious to comprehend, Quiet Arts does ask permission each time.
The woman would be able to. The boy or the teenager, he was a little too delirious too.
Mhm.
He was like, she says, "This is what you saved the others from going through. This is the worst of it. It's worse than the younger folk."
And then
Yeah.
he just nods slowly, and just, are there any advanced or aggressive wounds? I could treat some of those as well.
I mean, if you can, she goes, "I mean, if you're willing to help," and she'll take you around. And how much of your lay on hands do you have left?
10 because it's 5 to burn a disease out.
Yeah, there's like
disease out.
there's you'd be able to. She points out another person who, while they don't have a disease, they are technically poisoned because they have a rather nasty infection on their leg that you clear up rather quickly. And but other than that, there's just the person with the broken leg and some other minor stuff that, honestly, a single point of lay on hands would cure up. It would seem like stuff that stitches kind of thing.
All right, I get to describe how uncomfortable their healing process is. This is fun because Quiet Hearts has only healed themselves, and you can't really see beneath the armor. So, for the poison, the wound literally burns and boils until it's basically burned out. And
yeah, the
the
person
skin
doesn't
is-
react well to
No.
that, but
Rayan actually like kind of runs over and like takes the person's hand, and like just holds their hand, trying to like.
yeah,
it's
they
literally.
squeeze.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I say it's literally as if you took like a hot poker to it and was both squeezing, like using it to exercise the poison.
Yeah. Oof.
It's not good.
Yeah, and the people who's like had some minor burns you heal, after it's healed, you just see them itching at it like crazy, like, oh, it itches so bad.
For like actual wounds, the flesh literally seems to knit back together, like just press. It's like almost like somebody was taking it and just weaving it together, and it leaves not terribly good scars. Oh, and if the poor fucker with the broken leg, yeah, it feels like the leg re-breaks 5 times.
Oh my god!
Just
Gotta reset the bone.
It's reset, re-cracked, and then the bone is forcibly jammed together and then grown together. Again, it's brute force healing.
The doctor's like, that was efficient. She seemed to search for the word as she's like thumbing one of her tusks.
Again, I am not a healer. This is not my nature.
It is still very. I still appreciate it, and she kind of looks at the guy who's like pulling the splint off, cursing under his breath. She goes, "Well, he may not appreciate it now. I'm sure he will appreciate not having to be sitting in here for so long. Others, I'm sure, I know, will be grateful as well." And she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." And she looks at you both and goes, "I am Vuteg."
It is nice to meet you, Vuteg. I am Courage May Blossom in Quiet Hearts.
I'm she gets to herself. Rayan.
Mask off.
And she goes, "Oh, thank you for helping them, Quiet Hearts."
Then just nod slowly.
What race is Vutek? Yeah, half North, yeah.
Yeah, full-blooded orc.
Rayan is kind of just eyeing Quiet Hearts up and down. Quiet Hearts?
Yes.
That was some very impressive healing.
It is not. I have seen actual healers at work. They can make it painless.
Which makes it more impressive that you were able to do it. But I'm just wondering if you've tried doing it softer.
I do not have the touch for it.
Well, have you tried?
Yes.
Would you like to practice?
I will not accept someone harming themselves over and over again just for me to learn.
Let's see. But would you? Would you like to get better at it?
They kind of just look at Rand for a long moment and just not really know what to say.
You don't need to answer now.
I do not think I can.
Well,
I've spent many years just to be able to do this.
as someone has said to me, you need, oh god, I'm forgetting this exact phrasing already. Keep, keep trying. That's something that, you mortals do very well. I butchered that, didn't I?
You are trying.
I'm
That
trying.
is what matters. At least I believe.
It was quite hard to smile. Well, next time I get hurt, I'll let you heal.
It would probably be best if you let it heal naturally.
No, it's okay.
You are new to pain.
It's probably better if I get, used to pain in a safer environment. She looks a little green. She visibly turns a little green.
Rand, you are new to pain.
Yeah, I am.
Do not
Yeah, I
need
am.
to try to experience it to be used to it.
I mean, in pain, getting healed by you is definitely safer than an Anzu covering your body in spiked feathers.
Safer, but it will not feel any better.
No, but I mean, maybe, but it'd be, it'd be better because you were there and it isn't something trying to kill me. Gives them another little smile.
We should find an actual healer. I think you should experience that.
I mean, I've drank these healing potions.
Healing magic is something special beyond. No offense meant, but healing potions are very. Healing potions are very useful, but they do not have the same feeling as.
Well, we don't have a healer with our party, and you're probably going to need to heal people in the heat of combat.
We have a healer. We have Corona. What the sorry. I know she burns things to ash before they hurt.
Corano has primarily nuked things.
Yeah. Like, I heal by making sure they all
spells than I have attack spells. Fuck off.
You have primarily nuked things.
To be fair,
she doesn't know that.
They're lightning spells. You don't really need a lot.
Yeah, just ask the Anzu. Oh, wait.
Sorry, imagining. I just like... They just say, you'll understand when Corano manages to... When Corano heals wounds, it is...
I'm sure I will, but I'm not asking Corano if she wants practice.
No, but I will not. It is not something you should get used to.
But you want to get better, and I'd like to not want... I'd like to not... I'd like pain to suck less.
I also don't think I want you to be full of scars.
I don't know.
My
What are
magic
scars?
does. Sometimes when things heal, they don't. There is a mark left over.
I see.
They're going to look around real
You see her
fast.
get a
It's
little
like,
bit of a.
is
You
the
see her get like.
is the orc or the is the healer lady still like just kind of hovering, watching these weirdos talk?
Oh, were you still inside? I thought you had.
I
stepped out.
assumed we had walked out because
Yeah,
Ryan
yeah,
wouldn't
okay.
have said some things, some of those things in front of somebody.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry, I
you're
missed that.
you're on your own. Like there are
Yeah.
a few, you see a few people like look over. It's like, I mean,
Like-
you're recognizable people now.
They do
But
a
no one's like in earsight. Wow.
they look around real fast, which is like almost like a near complete rotation of the head before turning back to Rayan. Then Quite Hearts just carefully reaches down and moves a gauntlet just bare enough to see the wrist, and you can tell the wrist is not really. This is the first time you've ever seen any skin on this person.
Yeah.
The wrist is weirdly colored, like it almost looks
Oh.
tiefling skinned for a minute, kind of like a purplish or violet. And there's a thin, like well, not really a thin, but like a very just a kind of off-colored line that's jagged, stretched across the wrist.
Oh my god.
And they say, "This is a scar. You probably have seen many like them on Yuane and others."
So she blinks so like confused when you first pulled up, but then as you explain, and she starts connecting the dots and seeing how big it is. You know how her body color changes to match how she's feeling.
Mm-hmm.
At first, it's like it's a very bright color of like surprise, but then it darkens to being a very dark red to essentially being almost black. Who did this to you?
A demon. They no longer exist.
What was their name?
I do not. No, I do not take the names of demons. I only take their lives.
What kind of demon were
That's
they?
how.
What kind of demon were they?
They pause to think, as if it's actually hard to remember what kind of demon they were.
Tell me what they look like.
Just they were humanoid, I believe. Wielded a sword or dagger. I think it was a sword and a dagger. They were attempting to cut off my primary hand so I couldn't cave in their head with my hammer.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they sound utterly robotic when they, tell this story, which isn't much of a story, more of just a statement.
So she takes us in, and she pulls out the Chromaticon, and she starts taking down notes of what this demon looked like.
You're on my shit list through all reality now. It's like,
Which I do need to point out that quite hard to see Rand get angry a couple times, but like not this.
yeah, they kind of just carefully reach out before pausing and saying, are you upset?
I am experiencing a new emotion. Yes.
It is okay. The demon is gone. It no longer exists.
Not okay. And she looks quite hard in the face. It is not okay that they did this to you.
No, but I'm not sure why you're upset over such a small scar.
Not small. Do you
Hurt my
have
baby boy.
do you do you have bigger ones?
Your one eye has bigger scars. I don't see how that's an issue.
And like she like her eye like darts around. Is it like it's occurring to her? Oh my god, there's more.
Like they quickly cover the wrist back up, and you might notice the scar twitches as they do so.
Hand goes to yours. What was that?
It is not important.
No, I hurt, please. I would like to know.
They flinch a bit and they slowly pull back the gauntlet. There's like the chest is rising and falling. Like they almost look like they're going to a panic attack as the scar opens.
Oh my god!
And there is an eye there.
Oh,
That
does it
swivels
look like?
and looks around.
Does it look like? Oh god! Does it look like the ones on her wings? On their wings?
Yes, and from what you can see in the face.
That's your eye. One of your eyes.
Yes. Whenever I am marked, I get another.
Does it hurt?
Yes.
Oh.
Not consistently. It does hurt as much as any eye can hurt, I think. At least I do not like being poked in them.
She looks at the eye.
It looks back at you, and there is a slight like wateriness and trembling as it looks completely frightened.
Oh. So you can see me through that?
I can see through all of them.
What color is the eye?
This one is blue, like same as the ones on the wings, same as the ones, at least the glowing ones under the helm.
The black red starts to lighten up. She puts a hand not on the eye, but just like on the wrist.
It reflexively closes.
Oh, she's like avoiding touching it directly, and your eye is very pretty.
They twitch and flinch a bit at that. Thank you. Just utter confusion.
Would you like to put this back on now?
Yes, please.
Okay. She actually like gently slides the gauntlet back down.
Mhm.
I'm sorry if that made you uncomfortable.
I have not been that exposed in a very long time.
You should be allowed to be comfortable.
I am most comfortable when impervious to forms of attack.
I'm most comfortable when everything else is dead. Sorry.
It takes the hand, just the hand itself, and like holds it in both of hers, and she's like, "If you ever see the thing that hurt you or has hurt you in the past, you let me know, okay?"
I don't think that'll be an issue. I don't tend to leave survivors.
But demons can come back.
Some. If you kill them enough, they get demoted. And if you kill them in the right way, they never come back.
Just if you see anything that did this to you or scares you, you let me know, okay?
Just just stare for a minute. There's a light glowing in the back of the helmet that indicates that more eyes have opened.
Oh,
As they're just full looking at you. Before the glow.
doesn't seem at all bothered by the eyes. Like she was bothered by the scar, but like you know, she's not bothered by the eyes.
It's like the glowing stomps after a minute, and they say, "Okay, but if something hurts or scares you, please tell me, and it will stop."
I will try, but I am new to things, and a lot of things have scared me. Even things that weren't necessarily scary, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yes. I also don't know very much about anything, really.
I mean, you know no more than I do. Gives the gauntlet a little squeeze. We'll learn together.
Give a little squeeze back.
Oh, must protect the paladin.
Neutral must protect.
You gotta protect your warlock.
The strong must protect the squishy.
The squishy must also protect the squishy.
So, I think. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No,
no.
that was it.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Probably by this point, on Yuana, you return to the village. Unless, is there anything else people wanted to do before night falls? Because it's and dinner approaches. I know we're normally past the time we get set, but it's a Friday.
It's Friday, yeah.
And we started later.
Mm-hmm.
But so anything people want to do before night falls and the dinner starts? Dinner.
I wonder what's for dinner.
Anzu! That's just about up. Anzu!
So, anything people want to do is
Ryan stays close to Whiteheart, but doesn't like necessarily, taking up their attention anymore unless they are giving it to her.
Yes. If Rayan stays beside him, they stay with Rayan.
But like
I'm guessing
the others, as they see a file back in, would notice that like Rayan is a darker tinge than she's been before.
And is she avoiding Ioane?
Not avoiding Ioane, but like she's also not like she's not quite the full cold shoulder or avoiding him, but she is like not giving him her full attention unless he talks to her. She's not like, I'm not gonna talk to you, but she's like, we're upset at each other, so and I don't want to stir this anymore.
Well, at the very least, he's in better mood.
Yes.
I think the scariest part of that is just how close that guy gets to having his skull fractured.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But I was just laughing at the way the guy got launched.
Yeah.
So those are fairly
But you
strong.
don't sit on the sail.
A question for you, TT.
Yeah.
Would it be better to approach Ryoko now or when she's more drunk?
Probably better when she's not super drunk.
Yeah, so she
So
has like
now.
control.
Yeah.
So
Now
then
she
I
has
would.
inhibitions.
Well, she has inhibitions and won't stab me in
Oh.
my sleep.
Ryoko's
okay,
just drunk.
continue.
It's like,
I
I might kill you later. Don't feel bad about it.
So continue the interactions. I just have to mute myself and go talk to someone.
Okay. So
I am listening though.
That's fair. So I would say after a while, after passing off the Anzu meat, Amon will find Ryoko just to see what she's doing. Be like, "You got a minute?"
She's basically just like sitting in whatever, like outside whatever domicile we've been using while we've been in this tent, in this town. And she's got the local alcohol in a bottle, which she has been taking a few swigs out of, but she's like at best mildly tipsy. And as you approach, she immediately gives you the fucking evil eye. And it's like, no, I'm not really doing anything at the moment.
Good. I was hoping to catch up and talk with you for a little bit. He's going to go on to the other side of the door to give both space and not be like immediately sitting next to Ryoko. You know, not to crowd her, but also like just out of knife stabbing range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, smart.
Because he's not born yesterday. And he's going to reach into a pouch and grab a small sack and casually chuck it to her. I was like, well, first I wanted to get this taken care of, though I'd like to think we're more friends. I also don't want to be that guy who screws you over and be like, oh, we're friends and I promised you money, but isn't the power of friendship enough? That's a stupid move.
That is a stupid move because I would have demanded this money. I don't really buy the friend concept.
I kind of put that together. You have a very interesting viewpoint of life and the world.
Well, thank you for the payment, Samurai.
You're welcome. And as your friend, because I consider you a friend, I am going to ask, are you doing okay?
And she takes a while to answer that question and a longer while to sort of examine you and try to scrutinize your bird face.
Sorry, I just bird face.
You are a samurai, correct? You are a nobleman, a retainer of a nobleman, a vassal to a lord.
Amon raises a hand, like to be like give like a thumbs up gesture, but kind of does that hand wave, like sort of. We don't have nobility on Gardenia. We tend to samurai of Gardenia, as far as at least I'm aware, tend to take the concepts of the oath that the samurai take and use them for good in that manner. I follow the code and the creed of the samurai, though I do not swear to any particular house.
So you follow an oath and a creed.
Yes. It would be like a paladin, but I don't get fun magic powers like our friend, Quiet Hearts. I just try to do better with the world than it was before.
And who defines what's better for the world? Who defined the oath?
And he's going to take a pause to think while I come up with an answer because, god damn it, I tricked myself. Huh. That's a good question. We got the oath from the Dragonborn and Samurai Lords of the Dragonlands. And we followed them. I believe that technically speaking, all samurai of Gardenia follow under the oaths of those, but it's not like I've been. I was starting to travel the world for my first time myself. So I'm trying to find that out. Who determines what?
So these oaths that you've taken, what do they say about working with people of less than stellar moral character?
It happens. Circumstances can't determine. I prefer to think that it is the actions one takes that defines good or evil rather than circumstances of origin or birth.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So, murder. What would that action say about a person's character?
How do you define murder?
Killing another sapient life form that can speak.
So is war just one big murder for you?
Yes, obviously, it's a giant wholesale murder where entire nations are implicated. Now, of course, one could say that there are different kinds of murder with various levels of justifiability. Killing someone in self-defense, for example, sometimes is even considered murder in the eyes of the law.
Rand sees
This is true.
But what if it's not self-defense? What if you're doing it because someone paid you money to do it?
That's. And Amon takes a second and shrugs. And morally gray area, depending on who your person you're killing, I suppose. Like if you're taking down an evil despot because he's been terrorizing and causing more death and leaving him alive would cause suffering and more pain, taking him out would be a better solution than to leave him alive.
That's a nice, tidy situation. What if it's not so tidy? What if, in fact, you were taught just not to ask questions and you still killed somebody anyway? Because the money was there and you needed the money. Are you a good person then?
Do you have another option? And he looks like he goes from like the side eye looking at the town like them to the swivel owl or eagle staring at you, and it's like, did you have another option?
And that's like she's had like this smug grin as she's been like adding these little moral questions for you, but that one hits her a little bit. And the smile fades into a frown.
There are acts of coercion to do terrible things when you are given no other option. Because what I have seen, Ryoko, is that when you were given the chance, you may have hemmed and hawed, but you chose to do the right thing. And he looks away from her to give her that, like he understands the intensity of someone directly staring you, questioning your every move. If, as your friend, I do worry that you are too hard on yourself.
You are a very strange samurai. Most of the samurai I've worked with, which admittedly are not that many, do not find the company of a person like myself to be very tolerable. Because to their strict honor code, a person in my line of work and of my ancestry is a stain on their honor. It's one of the reasons I demanded the payment very, very strictly. I'm used to the honorable types being very keen to welch on a deal with my kind, because after all, it's very easy to justify not paying the assassin.
It's justifiable to not pay the assassin if you wish to end up dead. I don't particularly think that's a wise move on my part. But in terms of honor, and in that matter, when given the choice, the actions you determine make your honor more than the actions when you are given no other choice.
It's a very interesting thing to talk of choices. I've never really known to have any.
And now you do.
No. And like she starts to like sort of pull in on herself. No, that's not how this works. It's not how it works because if I could have been different this whole time. Because that makes me both wicked and stupid. If I could have been different this whole time.
Oh no.
And
Ryoko, you aren't stupid. You're in fact one of the smartest combatants I've ever had the pleasure of working alongside. As I got stepped on by the giant man, and I'm more worried about what you can do in a battle than he can. Also because it's IO, and I don't think he would do it on purpose. But you chose to be on that ship. Now, I don't know why. I don't know where you're coming from. But since you've been on this island free from a good chunk of the pressures of the normal quote-unquote world, you have chosen to both continue to help even when requested. Sure, there was the payment, but let's be honest. We haven't had really much use of gold since we've gotten here. It's more of an honor system. But you could have chosen when we had rescued Orovir, which was what you were technically hired for. You could have walked back to the village. You could have enjoyed peaceful times living among the village. But yet you chose to help others by tracking down the Anzu. And without you, we might not have taken down the Anzu. I'm not asking you to accept being a good person right away or anything of that nature, but give yourself just a little more credit. Because you could have chosen to when payment was due and walked away, and you stuck along and stuck around for all of this. We'd love to still have you if you can, even if I need to technically renegotiate a new contract. But I think I can speak for almost everyone in our group. We enjoy having you.
And she's like averted eye contact for like most of this ever since the sort of turn this conversation took. And when she does like finally look up and respond to that, like there are very clear tears forming in her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh God, I tricked you.
Amon just gives a small smile and goes, "Did you trick me, or did you trick yourself?"
Foolish ninja.
she just sort of pulls into herself and just doesn't respond.
Amon actually will take a moment to be like pausing, like to consider his actions. Is like, would so to think of Rayan, to think like Rayan, who is almost entirely learning new emotions and interactions. Would you like a hug? You look like you could use a hug, but I don't want to just like, if you don't want it.
She shakes her head.
I'm trying not to laugh. God damn it, DC.
Oh my god.
And Ahmad will just simply nod, and instead of leaving or walking away, he'll sit there as long as she needs.
This here's my therapy chicken.
So, after a fairly awkward, 5 minutes of silence, Ryoko sighs and says, "So there's no way you would have known this, but I was born in a brothel. Killed my mother on the way out. Never knew who the father was. They kept me around because I was really good at cleaning, despite worrying about bad luck I might bring. And also because they thought that if I inherited some of my mother's good looks, the exotic nature of me might be a useful asset when I grew older. And a man came one day asking me to help him target another client. And that's how I got into the assassin work. The thing is, I've been told that no good would come of me my entire life. And I believe that. And so I've done a lot of really bad things. And if that wasn't true, then that means I chose to do all those bad things. That not only have I done all of this, that I have all this blood on my hands, but it's not even because of what I am, it's because of who I chose to be. And it does mean that I am supremely stupid in addition to being wicked.
Amon takes a minute to pause to let it process, and he goes, I don't think you're inherently wicked. I think you were born into a rough situation, and that when given a situation to get out of a place that quite clearly was only going to use you for monetary gain and more. And he takes a second to think of the words. To use you for sexual purposes, to get into an assassin work, just to get out. You did not have the choice. You chose what could make your life better. And then when I do not know much about the assassin clans. I have heard of them. I have seen what you can do, which is very impressive. But I have a feeling that you don't just get out of an assassin clan. You don't just walk away. And yet, you were on the boat with us. I don't see You've not mentioned any loyalty, no aggressiveness of I'm still part of these clans. I think you made the choice because deep down you knew you had to get up and walk away to find something new. I think every choice you've made on this island that has been to the direct benefit of the people has been a better choice. You have made mistakes. You have made. I won't be on it. You've said you've killed people, and that blood is on your hands, maybe. But you didn't have a choice beyond your blood on your own hands as the other alternative. So I think now it's you don't have a clan leader barking down your shirt. I think that's the phrase. Phrases don't translate well between languages. I think you have the choice to determine if you wish to be evil or if you wish to take a path of redemption. It won't be easy. And I am probably not exactly the best person to help you with that, but if you wish to go down that path of being a better person, to do good, I will help you every step of the way that I can.
She looks at him on, takes in his words a second, and cracks the tiniest of smiles. You are a very odd samurai.
And he just gives a small smile back and he's like, yeah, I guess I am. Now they're roasting the anzu, and let me tell you, that is a wonderful taste.
I might as well taste my handiwork.
Aw.
So
I personally think it's some of the best meat I've ever had.
And Ryoko gets up and goes to attend the feast. Also, the supreme irony that the samurai unlocked a ninja's tragic backstory.
Yeah.
I want you to understand. 3 sessions ago, when you were when we were at the lizard folk village, I was going to have him just show up, drop the Mewtwo line of the circumstances of one's birth do not determine if you are good or evil, but your actions, and then fuck off. This is the culmination of me going, I have to get this moment. I have to get this moment.
Well
Shows-
played.
Walks out of
Yeah.
the jungle, quotes Mewtwo, doesn't elaborate, leaves.
Oh my god. So I guess that would be like when everyone would congregate. It's still a little bit before sunset, which it's maybe half an hour until sunset, so dinner's it. And if everyone wants, you can congregate. But,
Yeah.
or they'll help with dinner or whatever.
Actually, Tug's quiet heart's
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's looks to be like it's gonna be a nice night. There's a few clouds in the sky. The sun's going down. It would actually be going down behind the mountain because you're on the east side of the island. So it's actually nighttime's coming faster than it would normally for the rest of the island. But yeah, it's gonna be sunset soon.
Tug's quiet heart's I'd like to sit by Ioane if you'd sit next to me too.
Yes, I like Iwana.
I do too, but
Oh, excuse me.
we didn't. We had a thing earlier.
Yes, I heard.
He name is.
As you're walking towards, you see Ioane and Karano. They had returned for their walk.
Question for the Nora.
Yes.
Are they still holding hands?
Yes. You know, yes.
Because if Rand didn't pull away, Quiet Hearts wouldn't.
Yeah, no, they're still holding hands.
So yeah, Karano and Ioane, yeah, I guess Amon and Ryoko, because you're probably walking out at about this point
Yeah.
too. All four of you look over and see them walking up, holding hands. Well, not walking up, but nearby.
Well, they're walking up. She's walking towards Ioane.
Chrono notices the hand holding and does not say anything, but there is a bird smile.
There's been crab smiles, bird smiles.
Eye smiles.
Eye smiles.
Eye smiles. Oh god. I mean, Rayan has some cuddlefish
Demon
eyes.
smiles.
So far, the only person who hasn't smiled is me.
Yeah.
It's only because you're usually smiling.
Yeah, it's universal. We're getting all the weird smiles without our usual smile.
We've eaten his smiles.
Oh no. Yeah.
Well, you know what they say about the whole alchemy thing. Something of equivalent must be lost.
This boy
There's
could
no
hold
more
so many
smile
smiles.
bandwidth for him.
This boy could hold so many smiles, like an entire party's worth of smiles. Sorry.
No,
It's like redistribute the smiles, take back the means of production.
I have made Ioane frown so that the smile may be redistributed.
Oh my god.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one.
She walks up to Ioane and Karano. Looks like it takes a second, like where she's having a hard time looking Ioane in the face and like looking like awkward. Before she just look up and like, well, she goes to like, you know, she's having the awkward look, not looking at his face. She does kind of linger on some of his scars,
Of which he has many.
You two will also now notice that she is tinged red, this reddish black, which is different.
Is it like a blush?
No, it's some simmering anger. It's still she tamped it down, but it is some simmering anger now because she is she realized what a scar is for the first time and what the meaning behind that is. And she's just like taking in Ioane's scars. What's the biggest scar Ioane has?
It's I never really thought about any particular ones, but he has many.
Okay. And like Ioane, you see her one eye flickering across. I mean, for him, it's probably noticeably looking at his scars.
Mm-hmm.
And you see like the red darken a little.
Sorry.
What?
Sorry.
Blinks. Wait, you're apologizing to me?
Yeah. I was being rude earlier.
The red now completely drains away. Thank you, Ioane. I stand by some of what I said, but I was being too pushy.
Well, you're at least deserve explanation.
Are you ready to give that?
Yeah.
Would you like to do it now, or alone, or?
I don't know. I don't talk about this very often.
I told you mine, so.
Yeah.
For the most part, the villagers are giving the group, your own privacy because they see, it seems like a few people look to maybe they want to ask you something or, talk about something, but they see that you all seem to be in a conversation, kind of read the room and give you your space.
He's gonna find a nearby log or whatever rock to sit on.
If she sees Ryoko and Amon, she'll wave them over if that's alright with Ioane.
You deserve an answer, and I don't. It's no bother if others hear it. It's something I'd only prefer to go through once.
Okay.
You
She'll
all
wave over.
congregate around Ioane.
Yeah. She'll notice that Ryoko invisibly crying, TT.
Yeah.
She'll notice. I mean, she's not good at hiding it, so Ryoko will notice she notices, but she bites her lip and doesn't say anything.
She
Group
just
congregates around Ioane like the group congregating around the tallest person at the con.
Yeah.
I was afraid for a moment that she's gonna like pick up Amon by the scruff. It's like, what'd you do to
What
her?
did you do? What did you do?
And it's like, I unlocked her backstory.
Oh god, everyone's just ranking out their persona rankings.
Social link up, motherfuckers!
Social.
That's the term, yes.
Love that
She
series.
sits down with everybody.
Where to begin? I'm not much of a storyteller. But, well, it's not really a fun story either. Who is paying attention, at least?
I mean, Rain pulled everyone over, sorta. So.
Yeah.
I'm on this focus.
Firehearts is paying attention because they like you, Ade.
I think everyone
Yeah.
is.
Quietly listening.
Oh, shit, now everyone's looking at me. I'm getting nervous.
Amon tilts the head from. Just-
Alright. So yeah, maybe if the rest of y'all didn't pick up, I've got some feelings about undead. And
Do you remember the first time seeing him fight was being very excessive against the ghouls?
the ghouls, that revenant in the swamp, and now that one poor fucker up in the tree. It's a bit of a sensitive topic. Thing is, I didn't really deserve to vent that on Rayan. So, I'm sorry for that.
Rain nods.
So, I don't got no excuses, but at least maybe you'll understand a little better. Alright, so you'll have to forgive me for going back a little bit. I come from a town called Salt Spit. which is it looks like as it sounds. So
I don't really know. I don't really understand what that means, but go on.
it literally is just a little piece of rocks sticking out of the ocean. Not a.
Oh.
It's not exactly a huge town, but is in the Republic. Mostly, it was goblins living there, so people like me stuck out really much. And yeah, I could probably count on my hands how many other Flowborn I knew growing up. We try to stay in touch with each other. And aside from being different from everyone else, I'm quite big. It's hard being thrice the size of everybody else that you know and all your neighbors, and the houses, everything was so damn small. And when I was a boy, I got pretty big pretty quick. I think I was by age 9, I was actually taller than my pa, who was just a human. He was a slaughter sailor, the ones that go on sea monsters like I do. Mother was Flowborn. You've probably heard me talking about her before. She was larger than life, always the one. I didn't see Dad very often because he was out sailing, so Mom raised me. She was the only one like me. She told me not to be so ashamed of being large. There's nothing bad about it. But that also came with a lot of responsibilities. I think I mentioned it before that I can once I hurt somebody really bad without meaning to, but that's besides the point. I'm rambling. So one night I was coming home after spending time with the gang. It turns out they weren't really my friends. They just thought I was useful, but that's something else entirely. So I was coming home. It's getting late and dark, and the sea fog starts rolling in. I thought nothing of it, because it's that time of day, that time of year. I was just making my way home. We lived pretty next to the docks. We never made a whole bunch of money, so we couldn't live up high above all the stink of the butcherers. But as I was making my way home, I started hearing people, and I thought, hey, maybe it's just other people too out because it's late. And as he's telling more of the story, he's like shrinking into himself a little bit.
Oh.
And the fog was starting to get real thick, and like you could cut it with a knife kind. And I just kept hearing these people like whispering, talking. I couldn't make sense of any of it, and it was really, really creepy though. So when I got home, Mom was there, of course, but everything was fine for a few minutes until we started hearing the screaming. To try and make a long story short, That fog was not natural. And it brought with it a lot of ghosts. And a lot of things more, fleshy. Lots and lots of dead. Very hungry dead. And the town just kinda fell to pieces.
Hmm.
And, they were banging on the door real hard. They knew we were in here. They in the house, and they wanted in. Thing was, because of our housing conditions, there wasn't a whole lot of places we could hide. I was just a kid. I didn't know the first thing about really defending myself, and Mom was big and strong, but she wasn't a fighter. But that door was gonna come down one way or another, and we'd had nowhere else to go. So, she told me to get under the one bed we had. Oh, I wanted her to hide too, but there just wasn't enough room for both of us. I was almost as... I wasn't that much smaller than her at that age. I slept in a hammock for the most part. Not a really good place to hide. The one bed we had was hers, and there was only enough room for one. And, she told me to stay there. And stay there, no matter what. Before things really hit went south, she lit some candles to block my scent, I guess, and she held the door, and I stayed there all night, despite everything I heard, despite everything that happened. And come morning, when the mist was gone and people were finally going from door to door checking on who was alive, and they found me. But my mom wasn't there. There wasn't even a body. She was just gone. She was just gone. And the reason this all happened, people only really found out after the fact, was Salt Spit wasn't much, but sometimes smugglers would come through, trying to sell off, pawn things off, and apparently this one wizard, hobgoblin fellow, he bought one of them beacons, the same kind of thing our captain was smuggling. And he brought it back to his little lab, I guess, and he turned it on, not knowing about it. And it just drew all the dead of this restless dead of the sea out from the waves. They managed to smash the thing, and according to tradition, they hung him until dead, down in the shallows. That way, he could pay back a little bit. Death feeding life, all the little sea critters eating his body and whatnot, but I'll be honest, there are some nights I wish I could have killed the fucker myself. City wasn't really the same after that. When my pa finally came home from sailing, we both moved. Another town, bigger town. Some place where we could forget what happened. But turns out that shit sticks with you. And so yeah, I don't much appreciate undead.
I no idea.
Kurono is going to drop her spear on the ground and like she's not gonna ask you permission, but she's gonna hold out her arms and look at you for permission.
He's clearly accepting, even if he does not budge from the rock. His shoulders are sagging pretty heavily.
She's gonna enfold you in a hug as best as she can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing you letting her Kurana hug you. Ryan's gonna lean over and wrap her, well, as much as she physically can.
Mm-hmm.
Give Kurana, give Yuana a hug.
Cried Hearts will just take one of his empty hands and lightly squeeze it.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Does Corona do the 2 arms, 2 wings hug?
Yeah. She's giving him the full hug.
This
But
child is mine.
she's also like lifting one of her wings so everybody else could maybe come in.
Amon is as latched onto his shin as he can.
The sharp chicken loves you.
Every chicken is sharp.
That's true.
Quiet Hearts will actually turn and glance over at Ryoko and then offer her a hand.
White Hearts has 2 hands.
Yes. They had to drop Rayan's hand because, Rayan's using both of them to hug the giant
Yeah.
child.
So an angel, a devil, and a squid walk into a bar.
I mean, it is the trifecta of fiend, celestial, and aberration.
Ryoko hesitates, and with the body language of a person who is very touch-starved and is not used to receiving, much less giving affectionate gestures, awkwardly joins the group hug that's forming.
Excellent. Once everyone has fallen for the trap, he will hug you all.
The bear trap.
Kurono's got her
The
wing.
polar bear trap.
Kurono's
You
got
have
her
fallen
one
for
wing
the
around her
classic blunder.
The big
Oh my
man
god,
hug.
he is the class meant to be a grappler. You fools.
Oh no.
If polar bear dangerous, then why so cuddly, right? You
Precisely.
fools.
Kurono will scoot her wing around Ryoko and pull her in.
Okay.
Quiet Hearts
Sorry,
just gives the very... Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I don't talk about that very often. Makes me feel like shit.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I think you're very brave.
I was 8 years old. I was scared shitless.
That makes it all the more brave.
Children shouldn't have to deal with something like that.
Yeah.
No, they shouldn't.
Yes, that's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
See, I love it when the birds do that thing. They stretch their neck out and they try to like wrap it around you.
That is what
You're all-
Corona was trying to do.
You all hear a very light scribbling sound.
Hmm.
Ryan takes notes for other person who has hurt one of her people. Is already dead.
Making a list, checking it twice. Gonna kill everyone
Yeah.
who hurt her friend.
Pretty much.
Ragax is coming for you.
So this is kind of wow.
Damn.
So this is kind of funny. So for the second roll of the night, I need just Corona just to do a little perception check.
Oh boy. Yay.
All of us?
Just me?
No, just actually no. It would be wisdom. Just do a wisdom
no.
check.
Just a normal ass wisdom roll? Alrighty.
That's scarier than a perception
Your
check.
spellcasting modifier.
Nope.
Can I,
Do I get like advantage
Try
on this or
Actually, you would because it is specific to something.
Oh no.
okay. That's
Oh.
Yeah. So as you're hugging, there's a moment where you feel like this. Where does Corona keep her holy symbol? Which is like a thunderbolt that is also a viper, like in mid-strike.
It's on a chain, tucked under like the feathers of her breastbone.
And there's a moment where you feel like this little static zap tingle, and you think maybe, it was Ioane's tattoos for a second, like how you saw Jarrus get zapped, and I think someone else poked Ioane and also got zapped. But then you realize it came from your medallion, and then you kind of your gaze is drawn up as you realize what was clear skies just minutes before is now dark, and you thought it was just sunset, but then you realize clouds are starting to roil and thicken as if they're just manifesting around the sky as winds start whipping around a few moments later, and you start hearing people from the village out. It goes, "Okay, everyone, pack it up. We got a storm coming. It's one of the it's a summoned one. Get everyone inside."
Oh.
As actually there was someone else that I completely forgot about. Kind of rushing up as the winds start rushing, and you actually start feeling a few raindrops splatter and hit and start picking up intensity. Jaren, the tiefling man who actually found you on the beach, rushes over and he goes, "Well, looks like in the morning we're gonna have a new batch of folks showing up. If they're lucky like you are." And he goes, "Best to hold up for the night. This is going to be an intense one, I think." As all of a sudden you hear lightning. The entire area lights up as a lightning bolt flickers in the sky, and then followed quickly by a boom of thunder. Then, in that rolling peal of thunder, Corona, you hear a voice that you've heard before echoing in the thunder, and it says, "This is not one of mine. You must end this farce."
Oh.
As you hear your god deliver a proclamation, as this false storm is summoned above you all. And I think that's where we'll end for the night.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
Brass balls pissing off a thunder god.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and hey, and it's gonna bring more people to the island. That's gonna be good.
Interesting.
New NPCs. Who comes from people's backstories now that we've been dumping backstories?
Tutorial, technically.
DM's like, yeah, give me more. More
No,